Hey, I'm Michael Denicola.
I'm Megan Lennius.
Hey there, I'm Midream LA.
I am Samuel Tucker Young.
And I'm Mecabad. Welcome to Creative Casters.
And you turn and Seven just...
What?
That's worse than a dragon! I saw you painting that, and I disapprove, Seb.
It was an age where time did not exist. The age of the gods. Discord came, and the gods waged war amongst themselves for supremacy. The crumbling worlds led to the collapse of creation. But creation fought back. Time appeared, imposing its curse to the vain immortals. If they dared to reappear, they would suffer the punishment and be forever forgotten. Thus, the age of the gods ended. However, Dominion holds a grudge. After thousands of years in exile, the gods continue to wage war through their incarnates. The balance is once again under threat. The curse of time is fading. The ultimate age has come.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Creative Casters. Last we left our intrepid heroes. They were in this magical room. We'll say they had just ported out of some danger and were searching for answers, a way out, just kind of exploring this space, where they were met with a familiar old friend slash foe. The visage of the porcelain mask and very elaborately colored garb of the Harlequin himself.
Ugh. I hate
some
him.
Dialogue we had with the Harlequin, tested the mettle of our three adventurers, asked some of his own questions, got some answers, and then kind of pushed the envelope purposefully. Started poking buttons, and as he does, Emmett pushed back a little bit, and the Harlequin decided to test them in combat. Combat was ridiculous. We had a battle back and forth between characters going conscious and unconscious. Emmett kind of stopping the bleeding and playing super busy cleric for most of combat, healing people, dealing damage. Eventually, through some arcane magic that he possessed, where he was throwing out these magic cards, had both Day and Seven unconscious, and it got to a point where Day was brought back, and the Harlequin stood over top of Seven and decided to make an example, so to speak, or at least kind of show his power, whatever we want to call it.
Talk about that 1 in 100 roll. You know what I mean?
Seven did fall. Oh yeah, it's coming up.
Oof.
The biggest catalyst for this battle was a cry of desperation from Day. He was hesitant in combat. He kept crying out to his patron, Kazmin, who ultimately, through probably a bit of luck, sheer force of will, and some desperate pleading, went full Shazam. Kazmin basically transported and took over the body of Day and exacted his hand in this fight, and is probably what actually kept all of us alive. Definitely a major factor in eventually causing the Harlequin to ultimately flee, absolutely shattered and broken.
Ran away, dude.
Left. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That being said, battle had concluded, and we had a very battered and beaten, spent Emmett, as well as you, kind of in this altered consciousness where you can still hear everything, though you were, not necessarily completely coherent, with Kazmin kind of dominating your person, and the body of Seven lifeless on the floor. There was some prayers, some discussion, and through talking with Kazmin, Emmett, you, and even the influence of Day, did manage to call out to him and your deity as well, Denicola, the Sunsmith, to bring him back. You knew it was a possibility. and through whatever powers you and Casmine called forth, Seven's eyes opened, and you all were in this room once again. Ultimately, we exited, found ourselves back at the familiar storehouse, this cottage that we found outside the city, and it had been completely burned down and just wrecked. Kind of unsure of how you got here or what was going on. Decided it was best to not push your luck any further than you already had and just call it a day. Headed back to the city, cleaned up, recovered, rested, spoke a bit with Obkrin, got some much deserved rest and meals, and ventured to the city to kind of cool your heads, clear your minds, and just kind of carry on as intended, as normal. You decided to spend some of this hard-earned money you all had recently acquired and ventured to Orson's, where you spoke with Falric and Durham again, who seemed like they were prepping for a trip and planned to be leaving soon to make this big expedition and come back with a bunch of stuff.
I want their stuff.
They had some provisions, but they told you they'd be gone for a bit on this great journey to gather all this cool stuff. So that led you to the upper city. You looked around for a magic shop and found this old, kind of rundown building. There was just a nondescript sign of just this like open book and quill, no name or anything. And inside you found this very kind, very sweet old woman who was also kind of handsy and pretty forward.
My favorite.
Her name
She
was
was
Tildy.
a little handsy. Yeah.
She was. But she spoke with you all. You inquired about different things to make you stronger, magic items, weapons, all those kinds of things. And she told you she had some work, and not to question her ability, but more so just asked what you wanted. After browsing some of her wares, getting some ideas, you all paid her a portion of a fee to enchant some of your weapons and left them with her overnight. She said she would work on them, and you can come back in the morning and acquire your new equipment with the rest of the payment as well. So you all paid her, headed back to the guild hall to relax and turn in for the night. Another heartfelt prayer to dear Agosta after everything we had all been through, and probably another. We had the quick pit stop rest, but this was the true rest for everyone to really, much needed. So, morning comes, you all one by one come to consciousness. A much needed long rest. If you haven't already done so, please do that so you have all your stuff back. Save your equipment at the moment since you did leave it with Tildy. But you come to consciousness. You can smell breakfast happening downstairs. The normal hustle and bustle of a somewhat busy Free League hall downstairs. You can just hear, people talking and conversing in the morning, clanging of metals as people are gathering items and armor, sounds of the kitchen. Pretty standard day-to-day stuff. It's fairly early morning. You guys had a bit of time to sleep in, but you haven't wasted much of the morning. What are you doing?
I go to Seven's door and I knock on it.
Okay. Seven, you hear a loud knock.
I get up.
Mm-hmm.
I am completely nude.
Okay.
I open the door.
Okay. You see Seven just standing there. He just kind of gives you a casual good morning greeting and turns to continue about whatever he's doing. He might be setting out his clothes and stuff. You can see.
I'm going to get dressed.
The second he opens the door, I give him the biggest hug. I'm in full armor, so I don't know if he's cold at this point or anything, but I'm in my full getup. I just give him the biggest hug, and
there's this abrupt. You can just hear the sounds of the leather straining, and he just wraps his arms around you in a big hug. You can see Owly kind of, his head peers up and turns around. He's on the windowsill with a little just pile of owl food, just kind of beckoning. He just turns and looks at you for a moment, goes right back to what he's doing.
I'm don't die. I'm glad you're here. I walk away.
Okay.
I go downstairs.
Sure. Downstairs, it's easy enough to...
I'm throwing a little retcon that my body's covered in scars from my rough upbringing.
Oh, yeah, nice.
True. As well as... So, some old and some new injuries. You can see the couple stab wounds that are still fairly fresh from the night before. Under his ribs from the Harlequin. You can see all these... Yeah, I mean, he looks rough. You could tell that he's been through a kid of the lower city and nonetheless one that's lived a life on the streets.
I go downstairs to eat. Nom, 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 nom,
Yeah,
nom, nom,
easy
nom.
enough. You grab a big plate of food, sit down. Eventually, I imagine Day, you and Seven are coming downstairs.
I want to do something in my room real quick.
Absolutely.
I am going to take out Emmett's beautiful, and what I'll be using. I'll be using this as a little stand-in. It's a little Japanese figurine as
Oh,
a real life sentimental item for me, but one that will represent the one that Emmett gave Seven. I'm going to pull out the little statue of his now passed sister, Rissa. I'm going to set that down on my table. I usually keep it in my pocket.
Yeah.
To remind me of her, I'm going to take it out and set it on the table. Take out some parchment.
Okay.
And get to writing a letter to the elven side of my family. Something,
Okay.
So maybe say to myself, this is something I should have done some time ago. And I'll write something along the lines of the extent of what happened on the docks.
Okay.
I should have done this a while ago. Unfortunately, Rissa was the victim of enemies of mine. I'm not directly responsible for her death. But the weight of it all, it falls. It's my responsibility to bear. Had I not been there, she would still be alive. Yeah, I'm gonna let her family know what happened to her in case they don't already know. And
Okay.
yeah,
So,
at some point,
sure.
send that out.
Bit solemn, but so this is writing to your mother.
Right.
You, not super detailed, but enough of you're explaining what really happened at the docks with your sister, kind of taking it sounds like a bit of potential blame, which is fair enough, and you are signing it just as Seven, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you finish that letter. You have that still on your person. Allie eventually kind of, as you're writing, you see him kind of like hop across it playfully, just across the thing, and then just perch up on your shoulder, kind of nuzzle into you as you finish the letter, just watching you as you write. Pretty content with the morning. Eventually you head downstairs.
Yeah.
Day, what are you doing since you've woken up?
I am asleep as can be, trying to stay asleep for literally as long as I can. That battle,
Sure.
I wake up groggy, I look around.
Yeah.
I'm still beat the fuck up to no end. I want to keep sleeping, but people downstairs are being loud, so...
Not even, and
guess
this is
it's-
probably the third or fourth time that you've woken up. It's kind of one of those like, wake up, nah, not yet, wake up, nah, 20 more minutes, another hour kind of thing. A bit restless, but you feel more exhausted and sore from the day before than anything, and the mental strain probably doubly so. You feel exhausted in the sense of everything you've had to deal with. It's an emotional and physical and mental level for you, but sleep definitely helped. You're also immediately reminded of that strengthened bond between you and Casmine. It was in panic and desperation, but you cried out to him, and he not only responded but literally showed up.
Yeah.
You heard of that happening previously when Emmett told you about that, but you didn't really have a memory of this happening. This time you were present for it. Can't help but bring a bit of a smile to your face as you sit up and groan as you creak on the bed.
Wow, I survived.
Hmm.
I look around. Well, might as well just be another dream, right? Decide to kind of open my door. I see that Seven and Emmett are
naked.
Their doors are open.
likely downstairs.
Well, yeah, their doors are open
okay.
at this point. Their doors are open, so yeah, they're not in their rooms. You
Go ahead
imagine they're
and
probably already downstairs. So,
walk
as you're kind of
downstairs.
gathering your things, you can see your dream journal just sitting on the edge of your bed.
Oh. I look at it,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that something might have been written there. I go ahead. I'd like to open my dream journal. I'd like to see.
Okay.
I'd like to see what I've been dreaming about.
You open this journal and you begin to flip through the pages, and eventually you come to this kind of like a big landscape drawing within the book. It's all just in black and white, but it's this very large like watchtower or lighthouse almost in the center of the page, where you can tell it's like a lighthouse because you can see this beacon and it's got this like scope of light coming out of it, and it is silhouetted against just this endless sky of stars, and it looks pretty incredible. There's just this stark you can't tell if it's water or just land because it's just black. Everything's black and white, almost like a like just calligraphy or something would be, like just ink drawings, and you can make out this like figure in front of the tower, like far off in the distance too. The way it's drawn seems very distant. It doesn't look ominous. It is not scary, or it's kind of, it's tranquil and peaceful. You don't know if that, you kind of look at it and think, is that me? Do I know who that person is? Nothing really resonates with you, and then you kind of like, as you're flipping through and examining the picture, you look down into your palm and you can see this faint curled little like discoloration in the center of your hand.
Left hand,
this, right? Of this just tiny little leaf, and you just kind of crack this grin as you know, they kind of just even hold it, touch it, close your hand around it.
I look at this lighthouse and I see it. I see me. I see the figure. I see the lighthouse. I see the swirl.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me real quick.
I have total.
A 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you see.
Even with a 5, you needed a 5 at least. There was a chance you could have missed it, but it was a low DC. You're holding this book in your hands.
Yeah.
You're studying this image and looking over this figure and this lighthouse, and you can see almost like traced in the stars as you begin to connect the dots yourself almost. Across the back of the stars, written in Sylvan, which is a language you can understand, is the phrase, "I know you."
Are you just trying to do the most amazing scenes for fan art ever? Is that your goal? Is that
No.
Seth's
No,
DM goal? Mecabad's DM goal? Do the coolest scenes of all time for people?
No, my DM goal is always the same two things. Have fun and tell a good story.
You're doing
cool
great.
scenes usually help that.
You're doing great, dude. I'm giggling. Like, I'm actually giggling.
Yeah, we can't see any of this stuff, right?
No.
No, at this point, you
Yeah,
guys
this
have like,
isn't it. Yeah.
Emmett's downstairs eating. You finally come downstairs after you finish your letter 7, and you join him at the table.
Cut to Emmett.
Pretty much.
I smile.
Yeah.
I smile real big. Real big smile. Looking at the stars.
Look how they shine for you. And all the things
Nope, you're having
you
breakfast?
Is your dream journal yellow? All right, I'll stop.
I know to
I'll make you
myself.
make a save, Emmett.
I sit and I know to myself, I know that although this message is written in the stars, in this page, in this book, I've seen this message in the stars. I feel connected. I feel at one. I feel at peace with the universe. I feel thankful. I feel like it might as well be me on the other side of that book saying like, hey, I see me. It's like looking at a mirror almost, like true love, being like, hey, I see you. Nice, dude. My chest puffs up a little bit. I go, nice. Close the book.
Yeah.
Close the book. Big smile on
Gather
my
your belongings.
face. It's not in my pocket. It's in my hand. I'm holding
Yeah.
on to that book. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. I walk downstairs. I take a seat. I know that Emmett's eating. I sit right next to him.
So you all see Day come down the stairs, just big grin, Looks refreshed, and he's just holding this book. He plops down, has a seat right next to you, Emmett.
I slide over the coffee that I already got him.
There you go. You are presented with a nice black coffee.
Thank you. I accept the coffee. It sits in front of me.
I slide over the beer that I've already got him.
Yep.
Thank you. I accept the beer. It sits in front of me.
You earned that one from yesterday. You earned that one.
Thanks, Evan. As you have earned this, and I smile at you, the biggest smile I can give. Just
What are you doing? What is that?
nice. I pat him on the back.
Perfect.
Nice. That's nice.
Nice.
That's nice. Nice.
I'm just sit there nodding, smiling, still thinking about that book, just
Is Seven with us?
Yeah, Seven's here at the table.
Yeah,
he came
probably
downstairs
sitting
and joined you eventually.
Nice.
I'm probably just sitting there thoughtfully.
Seven, you have nothing to say? That's kind of weird to me. You always have something to say.
Yeah, you know what?
What's going on, buddy?
I've been thinking. I've been thinking a whole lot since yesterday. I'm gonna take out the statue again,
Okay.
and I'm going to show it to Emmett. And
You see him produce the familiar small metal relief you made of his sister.
I was thinking, why should I live when she should die? I wonder.
Do you think
But
you really
because I
have...
am alive. Go on.
No, please. Keep going. I was just going to say, do you really think you have control over that?
I forget how unfair this life can be. That someone like me should live and someone like her should die. So cruelly. But because I am alive, I will see justice done. That horrible thing they did to her, it won't go unpunished. Whatever brought me back, I can't help but think that I could do more. I could do more than what I've done, which is essentially nothing. I can honor her memory. Emmett, I swear to you, there will be vengeance. Anyone who had anything to do with her death, I'm going to kill them. I'm going to tear them apart, piece by piece.
I'll be
She's
there
still
with
here,
you.
She's still here, somewhere in your mind, in your memories. Cherish her.
You're right. I do. I will.
I think
People need to answer for what they've done.
I think it goes without saying, you tell us when we'll be there.
I need to get stronger.
Same.
The people we fight, if they can employ people like the Harlequin, I can't even say that I escaped. If it wasn't for you, I died. I should be, or I went.
You
I
did.
wasn't alive.
As far as I know, you did die.
So
It's
we're
funny.
not ready.
Again, do you remember anything?
It's foggy. It's foggy. I was somewhere else. There was a person there.
You saw something.
I saw someone. I think. Who got
In
I need
death.
answers.
What did you see? I look around. Is anyone listening to us? Because in our little tavern, everybody seems to be listening to us all the time.
Make a perception check.
I'll do it in the most awkward way possible.
Yeah, you literally stand up and begin eyeing down people with a raised brow. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Classic me. Oh, snap. 21.
So you kind of like, you're having this heart-to-heart with your boys, and you're like, hold on. And your chair just, as you stand up, start looking around at everyone, kind of pointing at a couple people. A few people, like, catch eyes with you, and you just, like, stare them down until they go back to eating. Everyone seems to just be enjoying breakfast and getting on with their day.
Nobody
leaning in and listening.
Nobody listen to this. This is a 3-way conversation, and I don't want anyone to hear it. So
Get a couple of looks, but nobody's really.
Specifically you.
You also then hear from off in the corner just a
I look over in the corner.
Leaning up against a post and with his arms crossed and folded, big and barrel-chested, is Obgrin, just sitting there. And he just gives you this small grin.
Well, you're really not allowed to listen, Obgrin. You're not going to like what you hear. We've been very, very careful, and we've started nothing. I sit down.
We both know that that's a load of bullshit.
It's real.
You see him toss you this small little leather pouch. Go ahead and make a dex save for me.
But why me? Why do I have to make dex saves? Even with the minus. I got a 16.
Okay, easy enough. You just palm up and catch this small leather pouch, and you just hear the sound of coins inside of it. He just kind of smiles and says, "Just enjoy your breakfast and stop ruining everyone else's, eh?" And he turns around and you see him disappear back into his little office.
I dump it on the table.
Okay.
How much is, I start counting. 1, 2.
There's 90 gold pieces in there.
I split 30, 30, 30. Yeah, is that how that works?
Sam.
90 gold. You get 10, you get 10. Don't worry about it.
I split 30, 30, 30 as much as I can. But I think it is actually like 25, 32, and the rest. And 7 gets 32. I think I just kind of like thumb it out in piles. You know what I mean?
You don't actually count it out. You're like, thirds kind of. Here you go.
Yeah. 7 you get 32, Day you get 25, and I get whatever is the left over. I don't know what actually that is.
Okay. Math, figure it out. Coins are pushed around about you.
I get 33.
There you go.
This is even and perfect, and I counted it. And I hand it to you.
He dumps them out on the table, separates it like this, and is like, "It is even and perfect. Continue."
What did you see in death?
It was beautiful. It was so peaceful. It was just me, as I am. No scars. No more aches, no more pains, no weapons, no potions, and unfortunately, no alley. The air was clean, there was water, but it was also lonely. Off in the distance, I looked where the horizon met the water. I saw a figure. I saw a blurred figure. He or she there. I called out. They were gone. And before I knew it, before I could even take in that serenity, that beautiful view, I was back here. So I don't know where I was.
Could you describe it to somebody? Somebody else, maybe whatever plane, wherever you went to, maybe someone's heard of it before. Like even if it's in...
Absolutely.
Actually, have I ever heard anything like that before in my entire life? From any studies?
I mean, all he really described. You can make a. Why don't you make a flat, just a general intelligence check for me?
Not great ever. 12.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
he talked about a river.
There's not. He talked about like there was water, but and a figure. He's being kind of vague, and you don't know if it's because he's hiding information or just that's all he had. I mean, he wasn't gone for that long. It's weird, but you don't. you don't have enough information to ascertain anything from his description as it stands.
Well, this may sound weird, Seven, but whatever happened, bringing you back, I think I learned how to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's something. That's quite something. I think.
Wait, no. At what cost?
It's expensive. I did some research last night on it too, and it's a very short time currently. But I think if we can get to the body quick enough, and I mean like in the instant that it happens, I may be able to channel that energy again. I would love to never have to do this. I'm just going to throw that out there. This is not in any way. It's just a backup plan. We won't always have Kazmin there to do it for us. Whatever he did.
I put my hand on Emmett's shoulder, and I look you in the eyes, and I tell you, I think I know what you mean. Going between there and here and back, I can't help but feel different. Not bad, nor good, but I feel different.
Let's make sure it never happens again.
How different? Is it... Do you feel closer with us? Or do you feel farther from us?
No. Nothing so dramatic. Nothing so dramatic, Day. I bring Day in close. I put my arm around him. I have never felt closer to either of you beautiful men. I feel closer to you than I felt with some of my closest kin.
So you feel closer to us?
Yes.
Day, you could see Owly like bob across the table, and he's like stealing some of your breakfast while you're having this moment.
Well,
boys, what do you?
I let him completely.
What do you say we talk to Calcareus? I've instructed Owly to send him a message requesting that I take the steps to enrolling in a type of program where I can learn more about, well, everything, but specifically magic, history. I'd like to get an answer from him.
To study with Calcareus would be wise.
Very wise.
Yeah.
Very unlike you. I like it. You're growing up, Seven.
As we all do.
I'm a new man,
Hopefully.
boys. I'm a new man.
You are
If
definitely
anything,
a new man boy.
my perspectives are a bit broader now.
Well, first, let's go get our stuff, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
I guess I'm the only one who knows, but we gave, what's her name, 150, right?
So you would have had to give her 150 for yours, 150 for Seven's daggers.
I gave her 150 from mine personal.
The party 300 gold, and you're gonna owe the other half.
Right.
Because it was 2 enchantments on two sets of weapons, essentially. His daggers and then your mace.
I have
left with her.
Okay, cool. I pull out my coin purse and I dump it on the table. I have 99 left over, Day. So that means I owe you that minus the rest of the 150 that you said you were going to cover, right? So 51.
Do you still need that?
Yes, because I only have 99 left over. And I shove 97 gold and 24 silver at you. I just...
This is 99, don't count it, I checked.
This is 99. I'm very good at math.
I add exactly 51 gold coins to the pile.
Are you splashing the pot like full? Like I will splash dip pot to whatever.
You push the money over towards him, and you see him reach into his pouch, and he's just like raining gold pieces onto the table.
What's that poker movie? You do I will splash dip pot to whatever the fuck I feel. Oh
Pretty
man,
much.
that's beautiful.
That's Day. You can hear them jingle as he reaches into a pouch at his side, and he just kind of grins and rains these coins onto the table.
I owe you 51, and then I pouched them.
Okay.
Cool.
Are we heading back to Tildy's now? She said to come back in the morning. Are we giving her more time, or are we heading up there?
I'm down.
Yeah,
like
I'm
to
in.
Well,
Let's do it.
for each other, our clear goals in all of this is to make sure we need to get stronger. No one should die
Stronger.
on our watch,
Learn more.
in whatever capacity.
We've seen so much death these past few weeks.
That's
Too
true.
much innocent blood has been spilt.
All of the prison, your sister, you, almost Big Man. There's a lot of people dying.
Ockrent.
I look
And
around. I
Hasbjorn.
check and see if I see Asbjorn anywhere.
Yeah, Hasbjorn.
Asbjorn is not currently in the hall.
You shall.
Even Yashel. She may be a thief, but she didn't deserve that end.
No, she didn't. She was barely even a thief. Let's let's make sure we get stronger then.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Let's go
Make a
to-
move. Yeah.
So you all finish your meals.
I stand
gather your
up
belongings,
and I
you're
buckle
heading
my
to-
pants
Perfect.
because I had it unbuckled to do the fat breakfast.
Oh,
Perfect. Yeah, you're breakfast
Oh,
time.
goodness.
Pants undone.
Yep,
Excellent.
I'm ready.
Tighten your waistband. You all head out the door and are heading towards Tildy's, correct?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You all bustling morning streets. It's still fairly early. It's a nice clear day. There's not really any clouds in the sky, save for the still distant and looming kind of maelstrom storm that is hanging out. Nearly shrunken by like 2/3. It is still there, but it is much
good.
smaller.
Oh snap! Eat our
it's
ass,
almost-
Storm.
People are even kind of like, people are still referencing it as you pass them and hear it on the streets. But they're referencing the progress of like, oh look, the storm's practically gone. Like, I don't know what we were so worried about in the first place. Yada yada yada. So it seems like the storm is being dealt with to some capacity for sure. I mean, it's like it is visibly much smaller. It's not like crackling with energy. There's not this thunder going on. There's just, it's there, but barely.
I point to Emmett in the sky. Calcareous must have some kind of handle on the situation.
Must be doing something good. We need to ask him about the amulet, by the way, when we see him next. Was that the Harlequin? Was that the bad thing? I kind of look around today.
Yeah.
Was
People pass you on the streets.
You
It's-
guys,
it's
you
early
know,
morning.
you know what I'm talking about. Was that him? Was that it, or was that the necklace itself? Calcareous wouldn't be messing with us, would he?
You think?
No.
I don't, but we should make sure. Just be mindful.
All right.
Going to Tildy's. Going
Going
to
to Tildy's.
Tildy's.
You all eventually get to the checkpoint. It's a little slowed down just because of volume and traffic at this point. There's several merchant carts coming and going from the upper city, as well as citizens of the city itself. You all see a familiar Oliver stationed at the checkpoint, and he just kind of gives you all the nod, and like he even kind of calls out to some of the other guards and points to you all out in the crowd and like waves you forward, and is kind of like having you bypass everything for a bit. It's kind of what he gives you the knowing, like a quick check. It's just like a small talk thing. He gives you all a good morning.
Oh, that's the guard that whose ass we grabbed. I grabbed.
Yes.
Correct. And again, you
Does
can
he know
see
that-
him with. He has one
Does he
arm
know that
behind
we-
himself, and he is holding a shield covering his ass right now as he's waving you forward. One arm is like, very casually behind his back. Looks like he's just being formal. He is covering his ass literally.
I'm gonna walk up to Ollie.
Okay.
I'm gonna say,
Good morning.
Good morning, Ollie.
He kind of straightens up for a bit, and you can like see he shifts the shield for a second, and is kind of like he looks to the side a little bit more like a, like roommate or big brother or something getting ready for a prank kind of. He's on alert as you approach him.
I wanted to thank you for having such a good nature about such silly pranks.
Well, it's something I'm quite fond of myself, if I'm being honest. It's always good to break up the seriousness of everything with a bit of fun.
I'm gonna outstretch my hand to him, and I'd like to formally introduce myself. The name's Seven.
Right. Well, all of it, but we've been over that. And he grabs your hand in a firm handshake. You can see he's just got like a visored helm where it's like flipped up. I mean, he's looks like a regular old city guard, and he's doing his job, enjoys life, and is covering his ass because he knows what you guys do.
It's nice to meet you again.
Likewise. Brings you all to the upper city. You all headed to the festivities, I suppose.
Festivities? I wasn't aware.
Well,
we have some other business.
Fair. It's mostly just prep work. I don't think it's going to be for a few days anyways, but nevertheless, the grounds around the mall are quite busy. There's talk of the games opening again, so who knows?
The games.
Hey, hey Seth, what are the games?
Right. Why don't you all go ahead and make history checks? Considering you all have pretty heavy and early ties to this city, you can do it with advantage.
I guidance myself.
Ooh, such guidance.
19 total.
Okay.
Is this straight history?
Yeah, you do have advantage though, so roll twice, take your higher result.
22.
Nice.
10. 10.
Okay. 10 was the DC, so you still you got it, no problem. So all of you, it might take you a while because you kind of all, he mentions this and you're talking to him and you even kind of the games and then try to fact check each other. So the mall is, think like gladiator arena, like ancient Rome style. And this was used for plays, like gladiator stuff, more or less. There was like fights, feats of strength, tests of magical prowess, all kinds of stuff. This was almost like, it'd be like a stadium in a city. It was a source of entertainment, and the games, as everyone has just come to call them, is essentially, it's a menagerie of that stuff. There could be everything from, this could mean that like pit fighting is opened up again. This could be, there, like the leagues would also have contests against each other here at different things. This is where the bardic and academic colleges of the various mage guilds would come and like practice their craft or test themselves against each other. This is how you'd have to like have exams essentially to like prove your worth to either gain entry to one of these colleges, to move up, to possibly become to like lead your own league. It's steeped in history and tradition, and it was some people think it's archaic and barbaric. Some people love it. It has not been active for about the last probably 2 or 3 decades.
Wow.
I'd say honestly, for you all know of it, but probably since all of your lifetimes, like it wasn't even a thing when you were born. You heard about it growing up, and it's definitely been referenced and mentioned. There are people around who definitely were there when it was still going. But it was kind of one of those. It was one of the earlier things. It's one of the oldest buildings in the city itself, because it was here when Cadwallon was built.
We're talking about the Maw, specifically?
The Maw is what it's known as, yes.
The Maw.
Oh, is the mall like the Coliseum? Like that kind of thing?
Exactly.
Like, is it like a...
It's a Coliseum. Yep. So word of the games returning is kind of a big deal. You can hear the buzz of energy amongst the crowd, and can even see a general traffic flow is definitely headed in a specific direction towards the Coliseum.
And to the victor, their own their own guilds, their own a whole bunch of gold?
It was a various. Sometimes it was just like prize fighting. Sure, it was all kinds of stuff. But it's like you've never seen an event. You've never. For you all at least,
Right.
it's just been legend or rumor.
Yeah.
You haven't actually
Slaves?
seen it because it's not slaves. Sometimes they. I mean, it was a bit
Free people.
Roman gladiator stuff. Mostly free people. Sometimes it would be they would have like 10,000 pace prison, for example, like a bunch of people. If you're on like some serious crime level and it's more or less like
Oh,
death penalty
death row.
type things, they would just make them fight each other.
Wow.
Sometimes it can be a bit rough, but it's not just straight up gladiator games. This was literally, think of it as like an event venue. There would be like big feasts and festivals. That'd be like a citywide block party almost, where there'd be because this was managed and run by the Duke. It hasn't been a thing for quite some time because of the previous Duke and the current Duke never reinstating it. It seems like word that the games are back on is kind of like the Duke would have to call for that. And if that's a thing, then that could be good. There's a general good mood across the population about the games being active again. People are excited. It hasn't been a thing in a long time.
The Duke really called for a new round of games? When did this happen?
Probably just seemingly for morale boost.
Yeah,
Something
because
that's
he's
been-
getting rid of the free leagues. That doesn't make sense.
Well,
getting rid of the free leagues, reinstating the
he's-
games.
He's motioned to dissolve the leagues, yes, but perhaps this is almost
The
a
games are
thank you to the people.
the games are revolved around the free leagues. I mean, I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say the Duke has been behaving rather strangely
It's a
lately.
bit offhand, sure. Kind of contradictory, I suppose, but perhaps it's maybe someone just spoke to a side of reason. The council advises him on many things, and maybe they see that remaining in good standing with the people you rule over should be focus for sure.
When are they supposed to start?
A few days at best. Sure, just announcements is why everyone's so involved this morning. Everything is being set up again, and people are excited. It's been some time, and it could be a good thing. It's really something that might be something that we need given recent events. Kind of see
Maybe
him
helpful.
off to the storm.
Maybe a helpful distraction, but in my
Indeed.
gut, something tells me that
Sounds just like a distraction.
there's some
Not all
That's quite
distractions are malicious intent.
I think there's more than just a little darkness in the air. And I gesture up to the sky.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the worst of it yet.
Oh,
But
could
what
be.
do I know? What do I know?
Could be, but all the more, just like a bit of a swift slap on the ass, it might be worth it to have a bit of fun for all of us, given the circumstances.
Hey.
Do you have anything on you that's broken?
No?
Just, if you do, let me know.
Yeah, you know what?
All right.
Yeah, we are free leaguers.
Hmm.
Before that, we were maybe let's call us freelance adventurers. We have a various set of skills amongst the three of us, and you
Franchirers,
seem like
for sure.
you seem like a good guy, Ollie.
Hmm.
Perhaps you recognize.
He's all right for a guard.
Perhaps you know of our league. Should you know what? Yeah, should you need a help with anything, or should you? I'm sure you see a lot throughout the day. If you see anything suspicious, don't hesitate to let us know. We could be quite discreet
Sure.
and quite helpful.
Do have my loyalties to the crown and the people of the city, given my position, but
As do we. But if
As
there's
do we.
anything that maybe they're not giving you the help you're looking for on,
Sure.
just as another
You might need
another
assistance.
helping shoulder.
it's good to know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time I've reached out to leagues for assistance. Probably won't be
Ollie,
the last.
Ollie, we are living in peculiar times. Sometimes,
Very dangerous.
even men that we once thought we can trust, we may find out that's no longer the case. Should you find yourself in a certain similar situation, don't hesitate to come find us.
Look, a bit of advice, boys. I learned a long time ago not to really trust anyone. And
It's the smartest thing.
I mean
I've
that
heard
with
in a while.
a grain of salt, I suppose. But you have each other, you have friends, you have family. Keep them close, but things always change. Just be ready.
Very good. Very good.
Kind of gives you the nod, and you can see him go back to managing his queue. You all push through the busy square. You can notice a lot of activity at. There's one particular cafe. You can see the sign hanging from this post in front of this establishment is this big fancy bugle horn looped in a curl, and it says the Humble Horn. It's like a tavern. It looks like an Airbnb. It's like a tavern, but it's got this small ornate wrought iron fence, really low fence in the front with some nice plants and stuff out front with a patio that's covered that some people are eating outside on. There is a lot of activity inside as well, and you can even see there's a bit of a line. And there are people that are coming in and out of the swinging door, dealing with orders. There's staff and stuff. It smells good as you're passing this place. The smell from inside is coming out, and it smells good. This is a fine eats place, little fancy, not quite high class, nothing too insane, but you're in the upper city, and this is a nice place even for the upper city. So you pass by that place, you pass by there's a big square essentially with this fountain in the center of it, and eventually you come to the familiar signpost for Tildy's shop. Heading into Tildy's?
Yup.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to Tilly's. I'm gonna have Owly doing his thing.
Okay. Just you just want him around in the square, just to keep an eye out for weird stuff.
Yeah, little buddy.
Okay. I want you to go ahead and make a perception check for Owly while he's doing that. So keen sight, you have advantage on that, and it's a +3.
Cool.
It's a 17, so it's and 12, so that's a 20.
20. Okay. Okay. You send Allie off, and you guys enter into the kind of musty shop of Tildy's. Bookshelves rounding everywhere, crazy items all over the place, and you can see she's already kind of sitting there, cross-legged. She's sitting at a stool, but she's sitting Indian style on top of the stool. Her robe's just kind of draping down off of it a little bit. Her hat with a tip all flopped to one side still. She's just sitting there, and she's sitting holding a cup of tea, and you can see the steam coming off of it, and she's just sitting there with her eyes closed, kind of just rocking back and forth with this just big grin on her face. She's got the tea up close, she's about to take a sip, and then just froze, and it's just.
Ooh.
Good morning, Tildy. Hello. That's your favorite three strapping lads. Sorry for waking you.
Sorry to disturb you, milady. I bow.
Fine. You're late, but you're fine.
Oh.
She sits the tea down for a moment, and you see her kind of wipe her eyes, and her eyes go wide for a minute. She just scans and looks around.
We're here to collect our things from yesterday.
Right. You see her kind of pull the bag off from her side, and she sits it in front of her, opening the flap, and you can hear her rummaging around, and you can hear this stuff in the bag. It sounds like it's full of things, even though this is just a little shoulder bag. She's feeling around, and you can hear her kind of complaining, and then you see her literally front half disappear almost into the bag, where she's just waist and legs sticking out of it, and you can hear her rumbling around and grumbling, and she comes out with your mace, Emmett. And you can see it doesn't look physically that different. There's a faint little aura to it to tell it's magical, even just by kind of looking at it. She just kind of smiles at it. She just goes, so it was quite fun.
Thank you. I take it, and I take the gold that I have, and I dump it on the counter.
Okay.
It should be Exactly. There's 2 extra silver in here, but you can have all of it. Should be 150 rest and.
She scoops it all forward like into a little pouch, and you can hear her turn over her shoulder. Say, Sylvester, and you all see this. Okay, Stitch, right? So picture Stitch, not blue, just this like gray, but like that type of creature. So these big, weird, like elongated, almost dog ears, kind of a stubby, stout face, kind of humanoid. It's a little bit smaller than she is. This thing's maybe 2 feet high. It's got these big like skin wings almost. It's a weird looking little creature, and it's wearing like this knit sweater and like a little pair of pants. Like it looks like a weird little Stitch kid, essentially. And you see it kind of like comes out of that curtain in the back, and he like waddles forward and like kind of comes up to her, and she just like drops the money in him, and you see him go over behind the counter and he pulls out scales, sits them on the thing, and he drops these weights on it, drops the bag on it until you see them even out. And she just kind of,
whoa.
Thank you. So, would you like to see what it does?
Yes, I would love that.
Patience, we'll do that in time.
Oh.
Believe you left something with me as well. You see her kind of rummaging for the bag again, and she pulls out these 2. You left her both daggers, right? If I remember.
Yes, I'm pretty sure are both. Yeah.
Okay. You see her reach in. Come on, she pulls one out, and it looks the same. She hands that to you. She's like, right. Wasn't able to get to them both, but I did have a bit of a discovery. And she reaches in. You see her pull out this, think like an Egyptian like armband, like a golden coil almost, and it's a snake. So you can see it's like this. The tail is out like across, and then just coils like a coil around your arm, and then it's like a snake head. So she just pulls that out and she hands that to you. Says, "This one was quite different. First I've done in a while. But
Whoa!
Truly wonderful. I think you'll enjoy it."
So one dagger is still the same, and the other is
seems like it. And then she's given you this.
And
she gave you one dagger back and
snake
this
coil.
Yes, like you'd put on like a bracelet,
like this,
but it's a coil. Right, but it's a coiled golden snake.
All right, I'm going to examine both daggers because I left something on the dagger, and I wonder if there's any left. And that would be, at this point, the dried blood of the Harlequin from when I stabbed him.
It is not there.
Let's see if I can. Fuck. Fair.
Fair. Theme.
So she gives you that. She says, "We'll see just exactly what this does. I at least know its properties, but I'm curious to see what it does." And you I believe, both. Turns to you, Day. It's like, I believe you were just looking at possibly purchasing some things.
Do you have a focus?
I have many, yes.
Is there a way for you to change my focus?
What is your focus, my boy?
I outstretch my hand with one, with the jewel on the palm of it, leather strapped on, and I kind of motion forward like I'm giving it to her.
You see her like grab onto the sides of your hand and like kind of jerks you forward. Like you just go to show her and she's just inspecting your hand, and you see her like tracing across the gemstone and kind of like even across some of the lines on your hand. And she's like, a bit aggressive, but that's Tildy. You're kind of used to it at this point. She's looking at her and she's like, believe we could do something, but going to be a bit involved.
Yeah, I thought so.
You have anything you wish to enhance it with in particular, or simply just amplify it? And I trust you have money,
I have money, of course, yes. Amplify it with... What... do you have any suggestions as to what I would do that with?
It is not my focus, son. It's up to you how you use it.
The stars themselves. You know what? I take out my book,
Mm-hmm.
and I flip to that page with the drawing on it, and I ask her, "Do you read Sylvan? Do you know Sylvan?"
I do, actually. She
Look
takes
at
the
this.
book, looks through it, says, "You do this. This is fine work."
One could say so.
Well, seems you're keen on the stars. We can see what we can do. Shall we say 500 gold pieces, and we can come up with something quite nice.
500 gold pieces.
Will be worth your while, I promise you. And she kind of pinches your cheek.
Well, 7. Do you have 48 gold pieces?
Do I now? I do. Hey. However, I'm going to require something from you.
What is that?
A big hug?
Hey!
You guys
Mecabad.
do the hug motion and go to hug, and Tildy literally just like walks in between you all and just like automatically starts.
Head on crotch level.
I've been just staring at
More-
the mace
more or
for
less.
the last trying to
gonna
get to 10 minutes
pass
to
him.
identify on it. Just throwing that out there.
Sure,
I'm
I
gonna-
figured.
Yeah.
Pass him the 48 coin.
Okay,
I put 500 gold on the table.
excellent. You see her kind of just pocket it all and pass it off to Sylvester. You see him grab it and just pull out. He like reaches into his like he's almost got a Batman utility belt kind of thing on. He's just putting these different size weights and like evening off the scales.
His name
Seems
is
like an
Sylvester?
accountant. Sylvester is what she called him. He's calculating money, it looks like, and helping her out.
Hello, Sylvester.
He just kind of like looks to you for a minute and just keeps going. Kind of just narrows his eyes and keeps going. She says, "Well, this won't take but a moment, but I believe it has some great potential. Why don't you come with me and we can actually get this started?" She'll kind of like lead you by the hand, and as she's leading Day, she just gives it, "Well, come on, boys," and is urging you all to follow her.
I start
Disappear.
walking with her.
Yeah, you're identified. We'll finish. That is a berserk hammer. And I'll tell you what that does in a second.
Ooh.
Is this homebrew
So
or
you
can I
all-
Google it?
It's homebrew. So I'm sure the name has been used. Google that all you want. It's not going to be the same thing that I do.
It rarely is. I've learned that. Don't bother. Don't bother.
Google all you want. Won't help you at all. You pass through this back curtain. You go down a little bit of a hallway, and you can see there's a series of. It's a modest hallway. I mean, you're just in like a regular building. It's about 20, 30 feet long, and like every 5 feet is a different colored door.
Whoa.
There's just colored doors on either side with a big red door at the very end of the hallway, and it's the only red door. She goes down about 2 or 3 doors, and you see her like turn to it. You see her kind of like gesture with her hand, and she gives this loud knock on the door, and the door like flies open. And she walks in, and you guys find yourself in this small kind of like stone space. It's like a little 20 by 20 room. It's not too big. There are 3 like wooden mannequins, complete with like pants and linen shirts. That's like with straw and stuff coming out of them. With these like holding a little wooden sword and this like makeshift wooden shield. They're like training dummies. They look all goofy. They've got painted faces. They're all pretty tiny. They're like all Tildy size, so they're small, but still. You see her as you all come in the room. She gives a flick of her hand and the door shuts again. She says, "Right, come sit down." And she literally just kind of like sits on the floor and is pulling you down with her Day, with your that strap with your focus in your hand. And she kind of pulls it over in her lap, and she grabs your other hand and has you like put it on top of it. And she puts her hands on top of yours. And she just looks to you and she says, "You know, it's a gift, truly. And one that should be treated with care and respect and... Well, are you ready?"
Yes.
Good. You can see her kind of close her eyes. You just see her face, like, just covered in 1,000 wrinkles. And you can see her begin to mutter some arcane words, and you can see the glow happen between your hands, and you just feel this warmth, kind of pulsing energy into your hand. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
Arcana. Uh, 19 total.
Okay. You're not. You're decently versed in magic. Your magic is a bit different than the traditional arcane ways, so you know she's doing magic. You have an idea of what's going on, but it's a bit beyond you, and not. It might be a combination of your limited knowledge of the practiced arcane ways, as well as potentially the level of what she's doing. Even with a 19, your best guess is like you can feel that energy, and you do feel a like surge of now, rather than this being like something that's just on you, it's more of an extension. Like you feel like this is part of you, more so than just an item that is magical that you activate. You can now feel, rather than gathering that energy in your hand, it's more coming from within you and expelled through your hand. You can see that the gem itself has, as she takes her hands away and you kind of are just sitting there, you can hear this like faint humming, and you pull your hand away and look, and your gem has these like feather and spiderweb cracks all across the surface, not damaged, but just that it looks that way. And there is this thin blue light emanating from inside of it, almost looking like it itself is glowing. It looks pretty sweet. It is empowered.
Nice.
Nice. Why don't you see what it can do? She gestures over to one of the mannequins.
I use Eldritch Blast on a mannequin.
Okay, go ahead and give me some attack rolls.
Whoa.
All right.
BT Dubs, you are now level 5.
I got 2.
You fire 2 beams.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, you dirty boy. Oh, you dirty, dirty boy.
First attack roll is a 4.
Okay.
Second attack roll is a 13.
Okay. As you raise your hand up, you even are hearing like, think of like if there was a cattle prod or a taser, that like crackling energy, right? Not as violent or loud, but there's that like that crackling as you bring your hand up, that it's audible and you can see it, and you see this like the surface of your gemstone is changing as you move it up, and you kind of like notice it, and you can hear it like build up and emit as he fires these beams. They both slam into these mannequins, as you can see them kind of reel back. Straw and bits of wood go splintering everywhere as it hits. Mechanically, anytime you cast a cantrip using an attack roll, i.e. your Eldritch Blast, but any cantrip uses an attack roll, if you crit with it, any of them, you can then cast another cantrip as a bonus action in the same turn.
Can you do the same one?
Yes. So if you Eldritch Blast and any of them crit, you can bonus action Eldritch Blast again.
And you get both of them?
What's that?
So if you cast one, you cast 2 automatically, right?
Well, yeah. So yes, the way he's working mechanically,
4?
I'll give you something to put in your sheet. He potentially could get if he crits with an Eldritch Blast, he's going to be firing 4 beams right now. It's going to be pretty ridiculous, but that's where we're at.
What if I crit with the second casting of Eldritch
It doesn't
Blast?
chain infinitely.
Oh, come on, dude. Let him go full Goku.
So if any cantrip that uses an attack roll, if you crit, you can then fire. You can then use another cantrip, except treat its casting time as a bonus action instead of an action. And since your cantrip's action economy won't get in the way of anything, you can cantrip all day long.
Insane.
Twice in a turn because you have 2 actions. So
do it, Piccolo!
that is what that does. You guys see him just fire off these blasts. It was effortless. This felt more comfortable and natural. You weren't feeling like you had to like Mega Man fire a blast out of this. This is just like I'm what's doing this, right? Pretty cool. She looks to the 2 of you and says, "Well, whoever's next."
I run up and hit it as hard as I can.
Okay.
Do I have to attune to this?
You do have to attune to it. We'll say you have. We're fine. You've been here long enough to attune to it. We're not going to go that crazy with it.
I've been trying to attune.
Cool. You attune to it.
Yeah, thanks. Just an attack roll?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm just go ahead and make an attack roll.
I look around and wait, guidance doesn't work on attack rolls, does it?
No, it does not. So that's fine. You touch yourself and you think, I can do this, and then nothing happens. You run forward. Go ahead and swing your mace.
I rolled a 10.
10 total?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's a stationary mannequin. You are going to hit it.
What's the plus?
It's not a plus. So damage-wise, it's still just your mace. However, she says, still functions as a hammer, but really unleash it. So you can use your action and smash your hammer into the ground.
Okay, I'd hit the ground as hard as possible.
Okay. So with the Berserk Hammer, with an action, you can smash it into the ground. Any creatures within 10 feet of you have to make a strength save, and if they fail, they are knocked prone.
Oh.
That save is going to be 8 plus your proficiency plus your strength modifier. That's how you determine the DC.
So
it is an action to do that, by the way.
14? 8 plus 6?
14, but it's a 14. You have a 10-foot AoE around you to knock things on their ass and knock them prone.
Huh.
Hitting the ground real hard.
So the mace itself, all the hit DC and damage and all that stayed the same.
Yeah, it still functions as a mace. So your 2 hit, you're still proficient with it.
Cool.
It still does the same amount of damage. All that's the same, but you now have, as an action, you can and hit the ground, and this happens. It is an action to do so, but yeah, you do that, all the mannequins get knocked over. It's pretty dope.
I'd do it again.
Okay, yeah. Just Sylvester's gone over and like sets up some of the mannequins, and like as he's setting the third one up, you just smash the ground and the other 2 fall over, and he just looks at you and is like, just pushes the other mannequin over and walks back to the other side of the room.
I walk in between Day and 7, making sure Tildy's not in range.
Okay.
And I smash the ground.
Cool. Both of you guys, I need you to make strength saves.
Fucker.
It's against a 14, right, Emmett?
Yeah.
Okay.
Full training montage.
Pretty much.
16.
Okay.
That's a fucking 11.
Okay. So you see Emmett slam into the ground, and there's this ripple of force that you're kind of staggered, but you like catch yourself on your feet. 7 just gets knocked on his ass, falls to the ground immediately.
Nice.
You look over, and Emmett's just like, yeah.
I reach a hand out for 7. Nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yank him back up. Tilda, you have outdone yourself. What is that short? Is it short for anything? I want to know your full name, because I am going to write your name in the stars somehow. I don't know. I'm very excited right now. Matilda?
That's fine. It happens a lot. Tildy is fine, please.
Tildy, Matilde. Tildatha. I'm getting
Definitely
close.
not that one.
Closer.
Nope. Well, stop trying.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Yes.
She's kind of wagging her finger for you, 7. She's like, come.
All right.
This one was quite special. Well, if I'm being honest, it was an accident, but sometimes the best discoveries come out of mistakes.
That's what my parents told me. No, I'm kidding. My parents didn't tell me anything. They disowned me.
Wow.
It's a shame, but
Wow.
it's all right. I've
There he is.
turned my dad
He's
into
back.
a frog once, and she kind of pats you on the cheek.
Oh, Tildy, you are quite something. You are quite special.
I know. Anyways, so this is the Adder of Strife. What you can do with this is you can use a bonus action to activate it, because you just wear it like a bracelet or an armband. And when you activate it, the snake will slither up into your hand and form into a dagger. And it lasts until you speak the command word again and activate it with your bonus action to have it return to a bracelet state.
Wow.
Like, how long does it last for?
It's like a toggle.
Oh,
You can switch it between fancy bracelet or golden dagger.
Whoa.
We're crossing into some Kingdom Hearts level full anime, and it's my favorite thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
And by the way, so your mace and this dagger, they do count as magical weapons for the purposes of resistances. So it's just good to know. It's a game mechanic thing. So they are now magical weapons. They have been enchanted. And she will go on to tell you, biggest thing with this is it looks good. It's easy to conceal, and it's got quite a bite with a decisive strike. You know what I'm saying? She gives you a wink.
Quite a bite. May I try it?
Feel free. It's not going to do much on a mannequin. Just know you don't want to ever be bitten by a snake, let alone this one.
That's okay. You know what? I will hold off on it then. I'm going to summon it. Can I summon it and take a look at it?
It's a bonus action to toggle it on and off. But yeah, you could do that right now. Like when we're just in the world, action economy is not as much a thing as we are in initiative. So yeah, it's just this bracelet that you put on, and then you can just. It has a command word which you can attune. So it does require attunement. You will attune to this. You can set your own command word, and whenever you speak that command word, this thing is going to slither up into your hand, and it is a golden dagger.
This will be quite handy.
7, try it out.
Silly.
I go stand next to a mannequin. Come on, try it out.
All right, try it out. All right, I'm going to quickly whip the dagger.
You're gonna throw it at him.
I'm gonna throw it not at the mannequin, not at Emmett.
I try to jump in the way.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right, so Emmett, make an initiative roll. Versus 7. So you both roll initiative. This is just to see who's acting quicker.
16.
I got a 9 plus initiative. Oh, plus 3. So that's a
16.
12.
Okay, so Emmett's going to jump in the way. Emmett, you're trying to get hit, right? You're just jumping to take this? Okay. So go ahead and roll damage. It's still a regular dagger, so it's a d4 plus whatever your 2 hit is with the dagger.
Does he have to roll an
attack? Or a d20, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're rolling to attack.
That's a 19.
Okay.
That actually
plus 5
that
for
actually
dagger.
I'm hard to hit too. That was
no,
amazing.
plus 6 now for a dagger, so that's 25.
Okay, so he whips it and you jump in, and it literally catches you kind of between the arm and the rib, on the side where your armored, your breastplate and your pauldrons are, just underneath the armor under your arm. Bit of a weak spot, but the dagger just sinks in. There's d4 plus your dex and on your normal stuff. He threw a dagger at you. It hurts.
Oh, that's a 1. It's a 1 plus. It's a 1 plus 3. So that's a 4.
4. You take 4 points of piercing damage. Anything major?
Anything special?
No. You get a dagger thrown at you.
Sick. Do the word thing while it's still there.
Fuck.
That's your word.
Insert temporary word here.
Temporary word. Yeah.
Temporary word.
Command word.
I take it out.
It will revert.
Throw it back to him as
falls onto the ground. Yeah, fair enough. So, if you crit, something special happens. That's all you need to know. This does something extra on a crit.
Cool.
And it's a magic snake dagger. It's pretty cool.
I cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
To ask once more about my focus. So now any crit roll will give me another spell.
When you cast a cantrip,
that
requires an attack roll, and it crits, you can cast an additional cantrip on your turn as a bonus action.
Right. Okay.
That is what it lets you do.
Cool. Nice. Now, so an attack roll also does that?
No.
Because I remember I crit on Eldritch Blast against a dude with
critting
a book.
doubles damage dice because that's what a crit is. It's double damage.
Okay.
So you're doubling.
This is an extra property of
an extra.
crit.
And wow. Okay.
Effectively, you could cast Eldritch Blast and fire your 2 beams, and if one of those attack rolls to hit crits, you can then bonus action Eldritch Blast and fire 2 more beams.
And also get the double damage for that single beam?
Yeah, and the beam that does crit is double damage. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now I see both of those together.
Yeah.
It's a lot of potential damage.
Yes.
1 out of 20, but good
and
Lord
you
Almighty.
you have like 9 cantrips, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so anything that uses an attack roll, you know.
All right, boys. Come here.
All
Come here.
right.
Gather it in. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Tildy's in the huddle.
Yeah, come here. Tildy, come here. Tildy, you're our coach, all right? We've got a thing now. We can do combinations, all right? I'll knock their ass down, and you 2 stab them on the ground. We've seen this before, all right? Because that guy, the scary porcelain mask one that we fought, he knocked 7 down, and then he just laid into him. We can do, I'm thinking we've got some stuff, you know what I mean? We got some adversaries out there. We could, I'll just, and I hit the ground.
Okay. Everybody make strength save. Natural 20 for Tildy.
Oh my god.
You say this and you arc your hand up, and as you like raise your hand up and go to swing down, Tildy's like in the huddle, and Tildy just jumps up and like grabs onto you guys and is holding herself off the ground.
That's a 10 for me.
Okay. Okay. So she jumps up and then like clings onto your arm, and Day and Seven both just fall on the ground.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tildy's just like,
Get him, Tildy. They're down. Go get him.
Why? That seems rude.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I with her on my arm, I help both of them back up.
Perfect.
Cool. That's awesome.
She's still just kind of like clung on your arm. She's like, well, got a bit of work ahead of me if you boys don't need anything else.
A great
Tildy.
and powerful Tildy. Thank you. I owe you.
Tildy, I want to ask you a real quick question. I'm going to pull out Leon's red book.
Okay.
And say, do you have a scroll or another instructional book, one like this one? And maybe I'll pass it to her, show it to her.
Yeah, she'll flip through it for a bit. You can see her like turning it upside down and like shaking it with the pages just blowing. Like she's like inspecting it, not at all like reading a book. It's a little weird. She's like, well, like I do have some spell scrolls, but as far as instruction, you'll need to go get some proper learning for something like that.
I thought so. I just figured I'd ask.
That's fair.
What do you think about... I was going to ask Calcarius to study at the archives. Do you think that would be a good choice for someone who wants to learn?
If you wish to learn, then there's no better place within the city, but going to be quite a task. The archives does not welcome everyone, and even those who do get admitted don't always ascend, shall we say, in levels of learning. Calcarius is very particular who he takes under his wing, but there are many within his order, so who knows? Might as well try. She just kind of like pats you underneath your chin.
Thank you, Tildy.
Tildy, did you hear the announcements about the games returning?
I did, and at the very least, it just means I might have lots of future business. I'll have to try and whip up some special stuff and might get out of the shop for a bit. Who knows?
Did you hear anything more about them? We've just heard that there was an announcement. Did you hear the announcement itself? I'm kind of curious on the details.
Everyone's saying all the games are going back on. I don't know that we're going to see everything. We'll probably be starting with the feast and the festival as usual. Just
right.
Just a bit of fun.
What day?
Wouldn't know. It'd be best to head to the Colosseum itself and find out.
Thank you, Tildy. The great and wise. Thank you.
Powerful and powerful.
And very powerful. Very powerful, Tildy. Great, wise, and very, very powerful.
All right, enough of people. Need to go.
Tildy, one last question. If you had like a power pose, like some sort of like, this is how I would destroy my enemies, what would that look like?
She just kind of like lets go of you and like drops down onto the ground. She like shimmies backwards a couple steps, and you see her like give this kind of mean glare for a minute, and then she just does the full-on like anime eye pull down, tongue out, and is giving you the middle finger with the left hand.
Like a
Yeah, straight up.
strong and powerful Tildy. Thank you for that. We'll be back.
She's just frozen in this position, staring at you.
You don't have to do that anymore. I got it. I'm remembering.
She doesn't
Okay. All right. Until next time. Yep. I walk out.
Sylvester walks over and like pushes open the door and just kind of gestures, and she's still just like, even as you are walking past, she's just unmoving. Just
Bye,
I love
Sylvester.
her. So, goodbye, Sylvester.
again, he just looks at you all, says nothing, waits for you all to leave, and then just shuts the door. You all exit the shop. Where are you headed?
Well, we have some options now. We can find out more about the games. I'm down to travel with you to the archives if that's what you want next.
That's where I'd like to go.
Would you like to do some recon first? Figure out about these games? See what we may stand to win?
You're thinking about participating in the games?
If there's gold, then we can use that with someone like Tildy to get stronger. If we don't die, it may train us itself. I don't know. I mean, where I'm looking for ways to get more powerful overall, to not die.
You're right. Could be. Let's maybe.
If you could think of something better, maybe we don't have to go together. It would just, I don't.
Well, I could go to.
I would like to go to the
Calcareous.
archives to check on Calcareous. 'Cause last we saw, his room was marauded by this.
True.
Yeah, maybe it's best to talk to him about the Harlequin, what we saw, what happened.
Speak not.
Ask him.
Please,
name.
please don't. Do we remember what we don't, like that's what
Sure.
that's the,
Fair.
unless you don't care. I mean,
I'm assuming
He's
he
got
can
9 more
hear-
fingers, man. So
I'm assuming he can hear us and show up whenever. You ever notice he usually only shows up when it's dark? I wonder.
Calcareous?
Let's
Harlequin.
no. HQ. Maybe let's keep calling him HQ.
You say
You're
that,
probably
Harlequin.
right.
Nothing happens. No one's paying you any attention. You're just walking down the street.
HQ it is. Yeah, let's go to Calcareous. Lead the way. I'm just kind of macing in the air.
Yeah. You guys take the time to attune to your items as needed. You travel for about an hour, eventually coming to the archives. As you head inside, you can see there are several, this main lobby area in the front. There are several, it's set up like a classroom. There are several chairs. There's a small table at the front. You can see about half of the chairs are filled. There's probably 20, 30 chairs with half as many people in them. Books and papers and stuff out everywhere. You can see they're all not finely dressed, but dressed nicer than most in these different colored robes. Excuse me. And up at the front, kind of pacing back and forth with a book of his own, you can see Edward.
Edward.
Hey.
Edward. I'm nice, Edward. Sorry.
Hey, Ed. Where's
He
Zook?
kind of looks up. He's, oh, well, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hello again.
Something you all need. I've got a lecture beginning soon, and
A lecture on what?
this morning, you see him kind of flipping back through his book. This morning, we're going to go over some transmutation.
Amazing. We're actually here to see Calcareous first and foremost. Have you heard from him lately?
Not too recently. He was dealing with some members within the Tempered Will, and I believe he was speaking to some other council members about some things. It seems like they've made some progress in dealing with this cult activity.
Interesting.
We can see.
May we speak with him? Is he around?
He's indisposed at the moment.
Indisposed.
Meetings most of this morning. Busy. It's just he's busy. He's fine.
You've seen him this morning?
Just this morning, yes. Not but a few hours ago. But he's got quite a bit on his plate this morning.
Okay.
Well, we are here and we have something urgent to ask him about.
Right, it seems to happen a lot with you all.
Yes, it does.
You're welcome to send him a scroll if you wish, or I can send him a message personally if it's truly that urgent.
It's urgent.
It's pretty urgent.
It's pretty urgent.
We should tell him about HQ, right?
Yes.
Just give me a moment. You can see he goes over and addresses the class to give him a second, and he kind of walks you all off to the side. It's like, pulls out a small bit of parchment and hands it to you, Emmett, with a quill. He's like, suppose if it's simple enough, or if you need to plan it out, just write it down, and I can send it to him immediately.
I just start writing. Need to speak
Okay.
immediately. Used your teleportation necklace. Was ambushed by a demigod of sorts.
Okay.
And I show it to Day and 7. Is this good? Cool. I hand it to Edward.
He takes it. He looks it over for a minute. He's like, "This should work all right. You've got about 8 or 9 more words if you want. Or if you're fine with this."
I take it back. I write, one of us died.
Okay. He takes it back from you and he goes, Well. Right. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of reads it over, and you can see him focus for a minute, and he just speaks your message out loud, though you see his eyes kind of flare for a moment. He waits, closes his eyes. Right. It seems he's dealing with some stuff with the Inquisition and the Templars. They've apprehended some members and are going to be busy. If it's something that you require his assistance, he said you can wait here, and he'll arrive when he can. Otherwise,
Did he say where he was going? Because we could meet him there. We actually have, stuff to do with Sarid.
the High Templar, yes,
himself.
Seems like he's with Calcareous, and they're dealing with someone. He mentioned the 10,000 paces. I don't think that's something that will be easy for you to get into.
We can wait here. I can wait.
We should wait
here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a doozy.
I've got the lecture to get to, so if you all
Can we
need anything,
Is it possible to sit in on the lecture while we wait?
you're welcome to. I don't know how much of it you'll be able to pick up on. We're a bit ahead in our studies.
Oh,
Are you sure? I try to break off a piece of my mace and then cast mending on it.
Okay.
Like I'm
I was
like trying to chink off some with like a little knife or something. And I'm
yeah,
like,
you chisel a bit off of it and then you mend it fine. He's
I
like,
know.
he just kind of chuckles. He's like, right, we did that a few years ago.
oh.
But good, that's very good. And he just kind of pats you on your chest.
hey Ed. I had a conversation with Calcareous not long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him if I returned after our last encounter, which miraculously I am here, he said he'd entertain the idea of me studying here, learning, enrolling.
Well, coming from him, that's quite a high praise indeed, but still doesn't get past the formalities and paperwork of everything. There's a reason we have the structure, and you still have to apply, but given recommendations straight from him, I imagine you've got great odds. He must see some potential in you.
Yeah, I would like to apply now, if possible.
Shouldn't be too hard. You just need a letter of recommendation from, any of the arcane guilds or one of the archmages in the city, or from any of the recognized colleges, and we'd be happy to give you an interview.
Okay, fair enough.
Are we in his class? Can I see his class?
They're just like sitting off. It's just like an open. You're not in a classroom. They're just out in the
Do
lobby
I
of the archives.
recognize anyone sitting there? Are there any half-orcs who may be blue?
Make a perception check.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Which makes it a 22.
Okay. You don't recognize anyone. The biggest thing for you that you do kind of recognize, though the coloration of their robes and stuff is varied across everyone in the class, you pick up on 2 or 3 very distinct ones, as well as some of their iconography, like on the cloaks are just about their person, some of the stuff they're carrying, some of their symbols, because some of them do have either carried like about on a staff or emblazoned on their book or a necklace, something on them. You make up that there are 2 aspects represented here, oddly enough.
Either of mine?
One of them is yours. So not necessarily
what race?
anyone that you recognize.
Right.
There is humans and half-elves.
In the class just overall?
Mm-hmm. You pick up maybe like 4 or 5 individuals out of the dozen or so that are here, and of those, there are 2 aspects represented across those 4 or 5 people.
I point out the group. Is it like a couple of people that are from my aspect, or just like one? Like a couple. I point out that aspect specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I see that the anvil's represented here.
Some of their followers do practice a bit of the arcane to a degree, though they lean on divine teachings. Some have sought higher learning with us.
Just out of curiosity, what aspect is that one? And I just point at the group that's clearly mine.
You see him kind of look from me. He goes, discipline, I believe.
Oh, who leads that these days?
Well, I don't know much of the structures to their order. I just know a bit of the history. I'm not familiar with anyone who runs the aspect themselves. That'd be something that the temple would know for sure.
Thank you for your time, Ed.
Hey, Ed, one quick thing.
Please, make it quick.
Before I go.
Please make it.
Yeah, is there a set of books I might borrow or buy, something that I could read up on my own to prepare me for classes should I successfully enroll?
Not really anything that can prepare you, and even then, access to the library is only for those associated within the college itself. So, unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to grant you the academics without entry into the school first.
Fair.
If Calcareus is urging you to do this, I think you should too. I've got to get going, boys. I'll see you another time.
Thank you, Ed.
Head over. You can see he starts like pulling out. He's just got like different sizes of blocks of wood and these different, some like rounded stones and all these different materials. You can watch for a little bit. He's basically just explaining properties of different materials and how through arcane means they can be altered and changed for a period of time. And you see him turn the wood into stone. He can change the stone into wood. He can change them into different metals. Pretty cool. He's transmuting shit and teaching them.
I like that. That's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. You think you can do that?
Me, I would have to consult with Kasmin and see if he would allow me to. 7 might be able to. I do as Kasmin asks of me. And I think that transmuting materials might be delving a little too deeply into the material plane, leading away from my path.
Well, a classroom is a sacred place. I don't think we should carry on this conversation in here too loudly.
Let's go.
Just gonna walk outside.
Okay. Where are you guys headed?
I'm waiting for Archon, I guess. I'm waiting. So what do we do, guys? We're
For
waiting for
Archon
Archon
or for
Calcariacon. I don't know why I keep doing that.
I don't either. You're waiting for Calcarius to come back. You weren't given a time, but if you guys just want to hang out and wait, you can. That's fine. I just want to make sure that's what we're doing.
Seems like the smartest idea.
Yeah.
Waiting for Calcarius. I would like to just start walking off and opening doors.
Just around the archives?
Yep.
You're just going to wander around?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah.
After getting bored
idea.
a little, because I don't want to just stand here. You
Sure.
guys want to get
I want
into
to try to
maybe a little
I want to try to
trouble?
sneak into the library.
Ooh,
Before
that's
we
a good
begin
one.
some shenanigans, let's go ahead and take our break here. Because we've been
okay.
going for a good bit. So this will be a good little break. So
I
we'll take a
was
quick
so
5.
ready to shenanigans.
I know. We'll take a quick 5
Yeah.
and then come back to it. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick, too. So.
Cool. Yes.
So, you guys are chilling at the archives, and the plan was
Pronounced archives.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Dare you.
our
The
chives.
archives.
We all have chives
Um,
together.
Yeah, you're looking through some chives, and you guys got bored, and you want to start breaking into stuff, right? Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
We're going full on players here.
Yeah,
All right. I'm ready to go.
bunch
all right.
of players.
So class is happening. You guys just kind of wander around. Every now and then, you have one of these, like animated constructs, these like wooden beings that just kind of walk past you, carrying books and various things, organizing things. Some of them, they're manning the archives. You got books everywhere. So you guys get to a bit around this circular hallway, see a door off to your right, and you want to just try and go inside.
Are there any nameplates on it?
Nope,
Just a door?
just a door. So remember, this entire building is like it's a tower essentially, right? So it's circular in design. So you've come into like the main lobby, and then there are hallways that just like loop around in a big circle, with the inner circle and center of this place being where there's just like bookcases flying all around and stuff. It's pretty crazy.
I
7.
messaged 7.
Oh.
What are you looking for?
I am looking for. Dude, I want to fucking read, dude. I want to learn some goddamn spells.
7. I'm like, my hand's like about to turn the handle, and I just is this gonna like hinder your chances on getting into the archive if we start messing around with the archive? I say this because
Probably.
I-
Just throwing that out there.
you're not here. Shut up. I'm not voice in the sky. I'm just saying, like, you really want to learn here, right? I mean, this may not be the best way to go around it. I start turning the handle as I'm talking.
Okay.
All right. Wait,
The
so
handle does not fully turn, and you can hear it click as if it's locked.
so we're just roaming around. We're just gonna be roaming around the archive.
That's what it seems like. It's what you've asked to do so far.
Okay,
You
yeah.
walked down
Alright.
the hallways a little bit, and you came to the first door. Emmett is testing the door. Handle is locked.
Listen. I'm thinking. Originally, I would have tried to sneak around, trick, lie, scheme, and deceive in order to get my hands on some texts in order to learn. And gamble on the fact that I might be able to talk my way out of this. They might see this as a
But you
type
don't
of
want to do
initiative.
that?
Initiative on my end. Tenacity.
I don't think they'll see it that way.
They might. We don't
But-
know.
Well, I'm just assuming we do. Here's the thing. I keep looking for danger, and we keep finding danger. Maybe
Alternatively,
we don't look for danger, and we don't find danger.
instead of sneaking around and stealing and breaking into places where we shouldn't, we could wait for Calcarius, or maybe we could just ask one of these nice, helpful attendants here, one of these nice archivists, for a tour, for some help. Maybe one of them might be able to listen to us, or just might be curious. We could.
Possibly. I mean, we can't get into the library though because we're not actually members here. We should wait. I am dying on the inside as I say this, but it's better than the alternative on not being able to find out ever. I think we should wait. I really don't want to.
I have something that I would like to know that I think I can find here in the archives. It might be a little safer than stealing a book or stealing information. I think in that case, it's best to wait for Calcareous. He will teach, or at least he will speak with us, and we will learn about what happened between us and the other, so to speak, and et cetera, et cetera. But this, and I take out my book and kind of hesitantly open it in front of them. To the page that the starlit sky with the figure in the background, and there's a light tower, and I say, this was drawn in my book last night, by me, by Kasmin, by both of us, by neither of us. It's hard to say, but there are old languages inscribed into the art itself. And as I sit, I know that something is there for me. And I'd like to see if this place is present in the natural world, or if this is something that I must meditate on to understand further.
All right.
As he shows you that picture and you guys see it, it's just as I described to him of this drawing. 7, that looks really familiar to you.
Oof. Oof.
Good drawing.
Oof. I need the archives. Oof.
Is it the place I went to?
It looks like it. It looks like someone drew it.
It's beautiful.
You don't necessarily remember the tower, but in this picture, it's kind of it wasn't lit. If it was there, you remember just being, it was just stars everywhere. You remember seeing a figure. You even told them this morning at breakfast about that. This is a picture of what you saw.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna tell Day what I know, what it looks like. Hey, buddy. This looks like the place I saw when I was no longer here with you, when I was killed.
Did you the tower? All of it?
I didn't see the tower. No. If I was there, I couldn't. Maybe whatever realm that may have been, it looks familiar. Not this exact place, but familiar.
This is a place. If you were in this place, the stars themselves must form simply to say hello.
What the hell does that mean?
What?
What the hell does any of that mean? What in the plains are you talking about?
It feels to me like a place. What in the plains am I talking about? It is a nexus of all the plains.
I try to touch
it. Feels that way to me, at any rate.
I mean, it's a normal book. You've dealt with it before.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just tap into it like a normal. It's a book.
It's a book.
Did you do this, or this is how Kasmin talks to you, correct?
Yeah, I woke up, and whether it was my hand that drew it while I was asleep, or whether it's a magic of the book, to ask questions is to know nothing. To accept and choose to understand is a better route to understanding what's going on here. Now, if you have been here, 7, through death, you have gone here?
It would seem that way.
Well, maybe we should all just kill each other then. And I put up my Eldritch Blast as it starts kind of powering up.
Please don't.
I'm joking.
I'm
joking.
Both of you today are acting real weird. Do you understand me? Okay, you can giggle all you want, Day, but both of you today, do you just... So I'll take a deep breath here. I don't know what I'm going to say. That's all I've got. I'm feeling uncomfortable.
If this is a depiction of the afterlife, then through this lens of my book, because it is not the hand that draws, it is the mind that feeds the paper through the lens of creativity. Now, as this lens is opened in my book and we see into the afterlife, the world itself speaks to us. Written in the stars, there are messages of, I mean, it's Sylvan. It's a message of song, of beauty, of love, of knowing one another, of familiarity. I would like to know this place more fully.
Maybe I ended up there because when I died, your buddy Kesmeen was so close. Maybe it's got something to do with the HQ killing me. I don't know. I don't know why I ended up where I did. Nor do I know how or why I was brought back by your deity. More questions for not more questions for Calcareous, rather.
It could have something to do with your Ghosta too.
Yeah.
Maybe. Perhaps as well, Dear Ghosta might have his hand in this. We don't know.
Can I tell anything about the figure in the painting? Like, are we just assuming that it's Day, or like, does it look?
It's just the
outline of a
silhouette of a figure, and
cool.
Best you can make out is the tower is far in the distance, as is this person. It's almost like a POV, like landscape, I guess, but it seems distant.
Is there any...
The tower and the figure both seem very far.
He keeps talking about languages in the stars. Is there anything I can read?
What languages do you speak?
Common Elvish Orc.
No, just looks like a bunch of stars.
Can I use minor illusion to try to recreate anything that I saw that night?
What are you wanting to recreate? What are you trying to do?
What would be helpful? Maybe some of the stars, maybe like a constellation of stars, something not the whole skyline, but a small piece.
Yeah, I mean, magical pop-up book at this point. You're holding the sketch there, and you can see Seven kind of wave his hand, and a bit of the, it's like this tower and this figure and some of these stars like literally come up and like are above the book.
These are a small section of the constellations I saw.
We're full on kind of like 3D hologram style with this now.
Allow Seven, this is what you saw?
This is what I saw. Some of what I saw.
Seven, allow the stars that you are casting to move on their own, as if you were not drawing a picture in front of you, but you are opening a lens into another place beyond life and death. Allow it to move on its own. Move it a little bit at first, give it a little bit of momentum, and allow those stars to move. Let's see what happens here. And I look at the stars in the image, seeing if I can read anything in Sylvan.
I'm gonna use my best to close my eyes. Take a deep breath, try to, in my mind's eye, go back to that place. As best I can. See if I can do what he says.
Okay. Okay. And Day, you're trying to see, like, you're basically reading his illusion here to see if you can read any extra hidden messages or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to make a perception check for me.
Nice.
Seven, I want you to...
Uh-oh.
Why don't you make a history check for me?
Okay.
And I'll allow you to do this at advantage.
I would like to just put my hand on his shoulder and guidance him.
Okay, so you can roll at advantage and add a d4. Advantage because this is something that literally has happened to you within the last 24 hours. It's a pretty vivid memory.
15.
And a d4 as well.
D4, right.
And then add your history.
A 3, and then I used luck to re-roll as a 19 plus 2, 21.
Okay.
That's an 18 total.
18. So the place is very familiar and easy enough for you to recreate. You're not convinced that there was or wasn't a tower. You're not like, you can't confirm or deny if it was or wasn't there, but it might have just been, it was dark save for all the stars. That was your light source and the thing you saw, which is why it could have been back there and you might have just not known it was there. In this drawing, it's like lit with a beacon like a lighthouse would be. Maybe it wasn't when you were there. Who knows?
Sure.
But you recreate it to the best of your ability, pretty easily. It's a beautiful image for you two while he's conjuring this illusion. With a 21, you can make out the familiar message you already read in the book itself. I know you. And 7, you remember. You're almost kind of echoed by the voice that called out to you when you were calling out to this figure, and you were in this place. And remember what it said. You know it was a he, best you could tell, and it was a hollow, raspy voice. You remember clear as day. And if you don't remember what exactly it said to you, I do, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
So-
tell him.
It asked you who you were, what you were doing here, how you got here, and then it said the phrase that Day has then echoed and is seeing in his drawing. It said, I know you, right before you saw that little mote of golden light that seemed familiar to you that you grabbed and then woke up on the floor in their arms as you were brought back to life.
You know, I wrote down I know you, but I fucking gave myself no context for it.
That's fair. So that's why you wrote it down,
context.
because Day hasn't. That's the key. He's giving you this. He shows you this drawing. And you're kind of like, that looks familiar. And then he says, yeah, it says I know you, like a greeting. And immediately you're like, hold on, I know exactly what that is now.
Yeah,
But
dude.
different experiences, or same experience, different people. So that's different.
I'm assuming we've said most of this out loud as we've.
Yeah. I'm gonna convey everything.
I'm gonna
Yes.
just kind of holding on the necklaces of all the deities. Have I ever heard the phrase "I know you" from any of them specifically?
Not in that sense. I mean, it's common sense for living things. The I know you is it's familiarity. It's also a
right. But is there a religion specifically that may use this?
No.
Throughout its. Okay.
It has no religious ties.
Okay.
There is no extra meaning to the phrase "I know you" other than the literal "I know you." 7, you remember it was very inquisitive to you and kind of like probing, trying to figure out who you were, what you were doing here, how you got here, and then it seemed like a bit of ominous realization of, oh, I know you, and then you left.
Wow.
So having that experience and then having your buddy pull out his magic dream journal and be like, hey, look at this thing. And it's literally it's if you commission somebody to draw what happened to me when I died.
Right.
Kind of weird.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's fucking something. God damn.
I checked behind 7's ear again. Does he still have the black mark?
He does. You checked him when he was brought back to life and it was still there, and you check again. It's still
Checking
there.
it. Yeah, just checking the next day.
Yeah, it's still there.
This isn't common in any known religion that I know of, and I know of quite a few of them, but I guess if we see this phrase, is that Sylvan? Is that what that is, Day? Sorry. What language is that? Because I can't read it.
This is written in Sylvan.
I'd like to take out a piece of paper and write it down, whatever it is in Sylvan, so I can try and recognize it in the future.
Okay. Fair enough. You with the help of Day, you do that.
If I hear of anything, maybe it'll give us a clue. I'm not sure. Who speaks in Sylvan? What is that?
Sylvan is
Yeah.
the language of. Sylvan is the language of. It's the language before you. I can stop there.
No, please continue.
It's the language before you. It's the language. It's the language that is of the gods. It's the language after death. It's the language before life. It's the language of dreams. It's the language of. It's hard to understand. To tell you, to define the definition.
Do you
of,
speak it?
Yeah.
Days being a little colorful, as he tends to do about this anyways. You can tell he's passionate about it, and it's definitely a known language to him. Sylvan is a organic language in the sense of it is tied to nature in a very heavy way. It is said to be the language of how like fey creatures can speak to each other or speak to a forest. That sort of thing.
Do I know that, or do I know what he says? Which one?
You haven't. There are some temples to nature. There's you know of some of that, and you've definitely heard about like being able to literally speak with nature in that sense, and know that Sylvan is the language. It is an ancient language for sure, but he's embellishing a bit.
Right.
But
I've never heard that
enough to
explanation.
know what that is.
It's quite intriguing.
Yeah.
How long has it been? You think Calcareous is coming?
And 7, you also know, like, this thing that was talking to you when you were wherever you were wasn't speaking Sylvan to you. You understood it clear as day. It was just common. Like, you'd know that voice anywhere. You know what it was saying, and it wasn't speaking Sylvan because you don't speak Sylvan. But his message is written in Sylvan, but it's the same phrase. I know you.
And I didn't recognize the voice, right?
You did not when it spoke to you, but like thinking back on this, if you heard that voice again, you know that voice for sure.
Okay.
It is a distinct voice, but it is not one that you do recognize.
All right. Should we go to maybe wait for Calcareous somewhere?
Yeah.
Do you have a waiting room? Waiting chambers?
You can.
Sounds good to me.
I mean,
we just find the front desk.
best.
I mean, Ed Wood is about our closest thing to a front desk that we have here.
You guys can be brought to a chamber. You wait for a bit. An hour passes.
During that hour, I would like to take the gold wedding ring that I have from the guy and turn it into a anime statue, even if it's like literally tiny. Like, I don't want it to be bigger than this.
Small.
Of Tildy doing this. This
doing her
pose. But she's doing it like a one of these, and like
come at me.
There's just like lightning and fire and like on the statue, like coming behind her, like all of the elements raging around her, and she's like and it's just like I want to just kind of focus and
it's gonna be gonna be small, but
but like, you know, it's like
that's
like
fine.
this.
Yeah,
but I want to do it in front of them.
Okay, you all are sitting at this table, and you can see Emmett channel this divine energy, and you can see his symbol glow. His hands glow faintly as he's molding this metal, and he makes this intricate little figurine. You've seen the quality, what he's done with some of the stuff he showed you guys. It's very well made, and he makes this tiny little mini of Tildy in all of her glory.
Cool.
You think she'll like it?
I think she'll love it.
Same. Pocket it.
Okay. Another hour passes.
I'm getting restless. I really want to go do something stupid.
Yeah, I'm going to take I'm just going to take out the Leon's wizard spell book and start flipping through the pages. Just read it.
Yeah. Eventually, the door in this room that you're in opens, and you see a couple of those little like wooden mannequin automaton guys that are walking around and working in the archives. Olive just walks in with this like empty cart, wheels it over, and you see him just start gathering some books, putting some books on it. Eventually, he loads it up with like 10 or 20 books, leaves, and about 5 or 10 minutes after he leaves, Edward comes in. Oh, you're still here.
Yep. Waiting for Calcareous.
Right. He should be back soon. It seems like you all have actually been requested, so good thing you're here. He just sent a message, and well, they've got someone that they've got some questioning done, and somehow you three came up. He requests your presence.
Right.
Lead the way.
Please.
Well, I'll send you there anyways.
Of course.
Have to remain here, but come, I'll show you. He'll head out, and he shares, marks out a location on your map. You follow it, and he basically tells you you're heading to this temple where the Inquisition and the High Templar are. They have this individual that they want you to be questioning. You head there. You arrive, and there is a very large structure with these very big marbled beasts on either side of the steps as you approach. Seems to be this like 3-headed entity, and it's got different heads on each one. Huge eagle wings that are flared up. On the one on the left, the one on the right has these big like scaled and webbed wings, almost like a dragon or a flying snake or something crazy. They're chimeras. They're statues of chimeras.
Sick. This is the
Pretty
Templar
crazy.
place?
This is, yes.
Wait. Where are we in the archives? The Templar?
You're not in the archives.
No,
You've left the archives.
Yeah.
We left the archives. And this place is what? Within walking distance of the archives?
More or less, yeah. You walk for about 20 minutes or so, and you get to this place. Edward
This
marks it on
where-
your map for you.
Is this where Sarad would be?
Yes,
that's literally
where
where we're
he's directing you towards the temple where the Inquisition works out of, that is run by the High Templar, which is High Templar Seret. So you head into this large building. You can see there are several. Think like we're talking like traditional King Arthur kind of knights, right? With these like big crossed helms. Some of them are holding a big like pole arm and a shield. Some of them just have a shield slung across their back with a big claymore or something that they're standing around, and it's a very kind of like a crusade kind of vibe.
Full
coming
Dark
from
Souls.
this place. Pretty much. You get inside, and there are all these reliefs, like boss reliefs coming out of the wall. These like great battles where you can see there's like guys riding on griffins fighting like a dragon, and then there's a dude standing on top of just like there's like this champion with his sword like raised up, and it's glowing with this sun, and he's standing on like a mound of bodies. Pretty intense stuff.
Yeah.
You enter into this big main chamber. There is this very ornate, long red and gold rug. Like we're talking, this thing is like 100 feet long in this main chamber. At the far end, there is a section of a whole bunch of like wooden pews with a small pulpit, a brilliant relief of this like 3-pointed crown above a cross emblazoned on a shield, and a very large brass bell hanging in the back. There are temple people about everywhere, and approaching you all as you kind of enter into this chamber, speaking up near the front, and then noticing your presence and approaching you is Calcareous. Excuse me. He approaches and just kind of walks towards you all. You see him like tuck his arms into his big open sleeves.
Hello, sir.
Walks forward and gives a bit of a nod. Says, "Well, it's good to see you all again.
Did you receive our message?
I did, and we'll speak on that in a moment. For now, I'm glad you are all here. We have made quite a discovery. If you'll please, come with me." You see him turn and just begins walking.
Oh, yeah.
You follow him down through, you cross back behind, like you go down the center aisle of all these pews. There are a few people in these big, big scoop hood, where it's like hiding their face. Some of them are holding like incense and censers and stuff, and like full on Gregorian chanting kind of thing. Tell it's a holy place. Emmett, you're familiar with this kind of vibe. Go ahead and make a religion check for me.
Cool.
5.
They definitely are worshiping something, but you don't see any symbols that mean anything to you. You don't necessarily know this god or this temple or this order, but you get a vibe off of these guys for sure. Oddly enough, you can tell because of the whole like crusade thing. It might seem like it's an order tied to conquest, which one individual that you know of has had a similar thing, and he left that life a while back.
You're talking about who I think? I'm pretty sure I do.
Yeah. So not specific, but you're kind of like this reminds you of him to a degree. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're talking about pre-prison days.
Yes. So there's a vague resemblance to that here, and that kind of has your interest for a minute. You break off, and you are led into this like side room, and in this room there is a very big, very muscly man, not quite Obkrin size, but it's just this big jacked dude in these huge like shield pauldrons, where this like the pauldron itself looks like a shield with a sword like laying across the top of it. He's got a breastplate that looks like it has an open book embossed onto the armor with these like scroll works of all this script like draped down him, and it's pretty intense. We're talking full on like holy crusader kind of guy here. Ornate red and golds. He has this big like bucket helm with this ring of like barbed spikes around it, and he's just sitting there kind of half in a like lean forward a bit, and you can see it looks like he's got some like he's breathing heavy, like he's just been running or exerted a lot of physical
Is he bigger than me?
activity. He's bigger than you. This dude's probably a good like 6'7", 6'8". Big dude.
Jesus Christ.
He's a big dude, and there is a giant like claymore across his back in a sheath, just strapped across the front of him. But you can see parts of his armor is still very like polished and shiny, but there's bits where you can see there's like scratches and dings on it. He looks like he's been doing some physical activity here of late, and he's just kind of, you can hear even within his helm that heavy breathing. Calcareous kind of enters, and you see him motion for you all, and there's a couple of chairs like around a small fireplace. The room is very modest. There's not a lot in here. Please, take a seat.
Of course.
Gentlemen, we've made some endeavors in dealing with this cult, and it seems you all thwarted a major front in whatever ritual you did stop, and for that, we all owe you a great deal of thanks. You can see that very large individual then reach up and pull this helm off, sit it on the table, and turns to face you all and begins like taking the pauldrons off. He's slowly doffing his armor. He's got like a just shaved bald head and kind of like a bit of scruff. We're just talking 5 o'clock shadow. He's just a stone-jawed dude.
Who is 6'7" and a monster?
Pretty much. This dude looks like a monster. Okay. You would notice he has a very big cut like across his right eye, like scar going over it, like just a big gash. That eye is clouded over as well. And you see him just sit the helm down, and he just like sits back in a chair for a minute, and he just looks to you all, kind of gives a nod. I suppose you three should be the ones we are thanking then.
I bow.
Same.
He gives a nod and kind of a little like thank you gesture.
Is this Sarad we're talking to? Or is this the...
He introduces himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm I am the High Templar of the Inquisition, the Order of the Chimera, Sered.
Hey,
Nice to finally meet you, Sered.
heard much about you.
It's all true. You see him stand for a moment. You all dealt with a demon recently, I heard, from Calcareus. Is that correct?
The Minotaur?
Indeed.
Who's a demon?
Well, we were there. I'd say Calcareus.
Also
with it.
true.
We dealt with a demigod briefly too. Is
We've had our fair share of encounters as of late.
Calcareus in the room with us?
He is. He's just off to your side.
Yeah.
A
We
Demigod.
Have you heard
what
of
do you
the...
know of this?
Oh,
I
go
take
for
out the Harlequin's card that was left behind. The one that we saw with the eclipse moon, the deck
Yeah.
symbols.
Yeah.
Look like a tarot card with those weird Roman numerals on it.
You see him kind of posture up for a moment, and he turns to look to Calcareus, and Calcareus kind of like rushes forward, and he looks at it, and he like snatches it up from you, very intently, and begins looking it over, and you see him just kind of like hide it away. Where did you acquire this?
He gave it to us after murdering
he left
7.
it.
Him.
He the Harlequin. I say his name, and
You see
Maybe.
Sered turn to Calcareus and like look concerned and angered in that moment. And Calcareus just says, "When? How?"
Yesterday, we were escaping from another group, and we used Calcareus' teleportation device that he gave us, and we were teleported.
amulet.
Yes, the amulet. We were teleported to a room, circular, banners over everything, a bowl in the middle filled with water, and the Harlequin was there.
Day, could you maybe help? I'm going to try to cast minor illusion to recreate the room. And us with the Harlequin, maybe with Day's help.
You
Yeah.
see Calcareus kind of wave his hand and dispel it as you're doing it, and kind of like interrupts this whole thing as you're trying to go, yeah, it was like this. He like interrupts it and steps in the middle of you all. He says, "You encountered him in my tower."
Yeah.
Oh.
I was going to ask you about that.
I had a
That's
few
actually
questions
your
about that.
that's actually your tower?
The amulet I gave you was to bring you safely back to my tower, given extraneous circumstances, as I instructed you to use it, but
Which we did.
Yep. And it
I
brought us
can-
to him.
We think
or he followed you or was waiting. Nonetheless, the wards were not enough. I have much to do. And he turns to Sered and gives a quick nod, and you see Calcareus literally just gesture and he's gone.
just bamf
Fucking
himself
Doctor
out.
Strange style.
Ah, he's amazing.
Yeah. Pretty much. He gestures and steps through a portal, and Doctor Strange style is gone.
Wow.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
full-
dude. I love it.
Templar,
Is
you
this-
see Sered
Okay.
like take his sword off and like clatter it onto the table.
Sered,
Okay,
I'm not
stop.
I'm not trying to overstep. How bad was this? If it means this much to you two, I can only imagine.
Let's ask the big questions after the small ones, in order
Okay.
to everything.
Sure.
Me and my Templars were on a hunt, if you will, for some of these cultists. It's something we do best. Can root out villainy and demons, per se. And at the mention of a possible portal on our plane, Calcareus came to us to deal with it. Well, we found one.
Did you go into the bog?
We did. He mentioned how you saw something at this keep. It took us some time, but we uncovered it, as well as those who were there. They have been dealt with, though something was still coming out of that portal.
Oof.
And we have it.
Oh.
You have
Excuse
it?
me?
Which one of you is Day?
Not I, Rabbi.
I look at 7.
I am.
Seems they were looking for you.
Oof.
Honestly, not that surprised.
Okay.
We should get to the bottom of this. Gentlemen, do steel yourselves. And you see him grab his helm and put it back on.
Oh,
and he
Jesus.
gets up and he walks out of the room, and you see him like push open the door and he just disappears. You can hear like chains rattle and pull for a moment, and you can hear what sounds like a retching sound for a moment. And then there is like you hear a metal gauntlet gut punch and a cry, and then you see him like come out, and he's like dragging something. He's got it like grabbed here, and he drags out this humanoid creature, though it has like red skin. It's got these curled back black horns that like drape past its black hair that's just strung out and like a mess in front of its face. Some of it stuck to its face. You can see it's slick with sweat. You have seen tieflings before. It's not quite a tiefling, because as he pulls it out, you can see these kind of bound, like it's almost like straitjacket chained kind of thing. It's got a big iron collar on, and it does have these like scaled red wings as well. It's got the tail, like this is some demon looking stuff, and you can see these piercing yellow eyes.
Whoa!
And it's about the same size as you guys. Like he's bigger than this thing is. It's not that big, but he just has it and like yanks it in to this room, and you see him like shove it down into a chair, and he like raises his hand, does a couple gestures, and you see this gold ring of light with these glyphs like up here around the chair, and then he just backs away.
Storm.
You see this thing like struggle for a minute, and then like go to jump up out of the chair, and there's like a flash where it hits like a barrier. You've seen this kind of before with Calcareous, and it sits back down in the chair, and it's just scanning all around.
What?
What is it? Where did you get it? Tell me everything.
What evil means is this thing?
This is the messenger, and we caught him before he got back to his people.
Does it speak common?
I do believe it can understand us, though when it speaks, we cannot. Though we have been getting one name out of it. Yours. He turns to you, Day. And as he turns to it, you can see this thing lock eyes with you. And it just kind of begins, like, it's almost like it's rabid. Like, you can just see it flash these, like, needle-like teeth at you and snap at you a couple times. And you hear it hiss through its teeth your name.
Is this a scout?
We believe so.
I look at it and What is your name?
It stays locked on Day for a bit.
It
flashes eyes to you for a moment, and it says something and you don't understand it.
Do I understand it?
I cast tongues on myself.
Okay.
At 3rd level. And I say again, what is your name?
Tongues, I believe, is you can speak to it. Can understand
spell,
you, right? Anything that understands the language.
The creature you touch, the ability to understand any spoken language it hears. Moreover, when the target speaks, any creature that knows at least one language and can hear the target understands what it says. So it doesn't say that I'm like speaking Infernal?
Well, no.
Like
No, not
specifically?
quite. You have turned on Google Translate on yourself.
Yeah, between both of us.
Right.
I hand to the chest, glow a little, cast tongues on myself. I asked you what your name is.
So the only two that are going to be understanding this is Emmett and Day right now. It is speaking Infernal. So 7, you've heard this language before, but you don't know it.
Right.
But you definitely know, like, oh, okay. It's a very aggressive and forceful language. It basically tells you, it's not important. We just came for him.
Who's we?
You said Infernal?
Yeah.
I speak back in Infernal, training my eyes like directly with it, kind of eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you wish to take me?
To the master, of course.
What is the master's name?
You'll see.
What if I were to tell you we already know your master's name? Would you
Then
believe
speak
me?
it.
We're not that stupid.
Just kind of eyes you for a moment, and you can see him like struggling against the chains for a minute and kind of looking down at his situation, getting frustrated.
You can get as mad as you want. You think Big Guy's gonna let you go? If you want any chance of surviving this, it's time to start talking, messenger.
Oh, you can kill us. We keep coming. There's plenty.
I don't think you understand. I've seen what these Templars do. I don't think there's any interest in killing you. We want you alive.
Then you don't know the Templars.
Uh-oh.
I think I know the more... Damn it. Okay, fine.
Okay.
The Templars will kill you. I will make sure that they don't, because you're going to stay with me for a very long time. And it's not going to be pleasant. What is your name?
Go to make an intimidation check.
I'm going to guidance myself. Oh, but why? But why?
What we got?
10 total. It's actually amazing.
Okay.
I rolled a 2. I got all the way up to 10.
You see him just grin with all these needle-like teeth showing very wide. So the mouth is like larger than it should be for his head. You see him just kind of like shift in place for a moment.
Sorry, I got a 9. My math is terrible.
Okay. We aren't afraid to die. We aren't afraid of them or you. Only the master.
Good to know. That's actually all I was looking for. Thank you for telling me. You're not as smart as you look, you know that, right?
And you are. And you're fucking ugly.
Thank you.
Sorry, I don't react to that because I can't understand.
Hey, 7, he just called me fucking ugly. What do you think?
I think that's pretty rude. That's not very nice. That's not a very nice thing to say. Cussing in this sacred temple.
Yes,
Red
that's
looks
true.
to you both for a moment. He says, find out what they are after.
Well, they're after me.
It seems they're after Day, specifically. They're on a mission to get him back. Take him to the master. That's what he's saying.
You see him kind of turn you to like face towards him.
Ooh.
Not too forceful. He just like turns you.
Is it possible? I don't know how the spell works specifically. Is
Sure.
it possible to have said all of this not in Infernal, but in a language that I'm
Well,
it's just between him and me?
Speak that language. This is now. If you speak a language, you can understand me, and I can understand you. That's what it does.
Is it
Everything
possible?
translates to common for you.
Yeah. Is it possible to do that to him to where the demon doesn't know it?
A creature you touch, and it doesn't require
Me.
concentration, so you can cast it on him.
Well, I don't want to cast. I've already cast it on me. What I'm saying is,
Right.
is it possible to basically talk to Sarad in a way that only he can understand me?
No,
Okay,
unless you and him speak a language that only you two speak right now.
gotcha.
So,
Red,
no.
before I continue, do you know what languages do you understand?
Well, only a few.
Anything special?
I can speak common in my God-given tongue.
What's your God-given tongue?
Well, by my divine order, I do speak Celestial.
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
speak to him in Celestial.
Okay. Do you know Celestial?
Well, doesn't tongues... It doesn't work like
Tongues
that at
is
all?
just...
Cool.
tongues,
Never mind.
you don't choose your language, you just... Anything that can understand a language can understand you when you speak, regardless of what languages they know.
If you want to say anything to me that you don't want him to understand, say it in Celestial. I think that's a good starting place, just in case.
He'll respond, noted, which is in Celestial, so unless you speak it, Emmett is the only one that understands that. He turns to you, Day, and he says, and what would they want with you?
As you know, I am a magic user. And through you have your deities. I have mine. I believe that their master and my master have a feud.
So they're using you as a pawn.
Some would say that road goes both ways.
Well,
Unless you have another way you want to try and get this guy to talk, I'm not sure we'll get much out of him. The
we've done
cultists...
all we can. If he needs to send a message, perhaps we let him send it. Unless you have anything else you want to ask him, I suggest we make this quick.
You want to let the messenger actually send something to their master?
We'll make sure the message gets across. Trust me. We've dealt with this kind in the past.
You're the reigning authority here.
Anything you wish to know, ask it now. I'm sick of looking at it.
What's your plan? I just turned to the messenger. What is it? Come on, if I'm so fucking ugly, don't you have a great desire to kill me? Kill us all? What is it? Tired of being on your plane? Too hot there for you? Need a nice beach?
Oh, we'll claim your world. It's only a matter of time.
Why are you so sure of such a thing? If I'm gonna die, what does it matter?
We've consumed.
Right. You've taken over other planes. I've heard that.
Then you should be worried.
You know, that's kind of the thing. I am worried. I'm not stupid. But one of the things I don't understand is why your master would trust such a weakling as yourself. You can't even break these bonds?
He is powerful. Looking to the High Templar. Have him release me and see what you can do.
Tempting. Very tempting. I think you and I could be friends, Messenger.
The best of friends.
How long have you existed?
Lifetime. Beyond you.
Right, but how many? Is it ageless existence? Would you like to see it end?
He gives a chuckle. Time ends for us all.
Right, but I've heard that death is only the beginning, is it not? Maybe you could find a higher power.
Find out.
Day, do you want to ask this guy anything?
We will make it quick. If you insist on us chasing you, it'll only make him angry. It's only a matter of time before we find you.
Well, we've stopped you once. Twice. And yet again here you are in shackles. What makes you so sure?
Oh, I am contained. Surely we are many.
Day, do you have anything you want to ask him?
Hey, while these guys are
Where-
doing this, I want to look
Mhm.
around the room, see I could see anything.
Give me a perception check.
See anything cool.
See
maybe out
anything
of the
cool?
Anything out of the ordinary. Maybe something like that. So,
Yeah.
Where were you told
All
to
right,
search
that's a
for me?
5, but I'm going to use my luck.
Go for it.
'Cause
You can do that.
That's an 18. Now we're talking plus 3. It's a 21.
21. The room itself is pretty bare. It seems like you guys were just taken off into like a side room. In one of the far cupboards, you can notice there's like a small kind of wooden rack with several glass vials full of like water in them. But that's over there.
I guess I'm going to make my way over there discreetly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Check it out. See if I can.
I call upon Kasmin and I ask a question. Kasmin, is this creature of any concern?
When is you just doing this mentally, or are you saying this out loud?
I'm doing this mentally.
Okay. He himself is simply a pawn. Pawns can be useful.
Is there... Well, you see this pawn as you look through my eyes.
I do not need to use you to see it, Day, but thank you. Pity. We may have to move things forward ourselves.
I see.
Get rid of him. I'm sure he'll pass on our message, and maybe it's best if we get him angry. That would be fun.
I have nothing for this creature, gentlemen. As far as I'm concerned, we can send him on home and take as long as that needs to do so.
You hear, Sared? Gladly. If you are finished, gentlemen.
Messenger, I'm going to leave you with one thing. Do you know who Dear Ghosta is?
Should I?
Good. You will soon enough. It's all yours. I back up.
In one motion, you hear the sound of steel and steel as the Templar draws his sword, and just in the same arcing motion, he takes this thing's head clean off.
Oh, shit, dude.
There's just one decisive swing, and you just hear that spray, and there's just this squishy thunk as a head hits the floor. And then you see the body kind of like burn away and dissipate into ash. You see him remove the circle with a pass of his hand.
Is the head still there, or is all of it
Is
ash?
the head still?
It's
Oh,
his
man,
remains
I
have
would've-
dissipated into ash.
I know you did.
I think to
7.
myself,
Oh, I know you
damn,
did.
I really wanted those horns real bad.
You see him sheathe the sword again, and he says, "Well,
Where did you find him? Was he in the portal itself?
he was fleeing towards it as we were sealing it. We cut off his escape and captured him.
Is the portal still there?
No.
If I may be so bold, who do you guys serve?
You'll find in time.
I'm sort of a collector of religions. That means a lot to me. It's amazing that I haven't actually heard who the High Templars themselves serve.
And what are you valuing here? Your collection or your faith?
I'm valuing wisdom.
Good. Then use it.
Doesn't really
Rest
answer my
assured.
question.
Rest assured, whatever message that thing needed to send will arrive. You cannot kill those creatures unless they are on their home plane. He is simply back home now.
Are all demons that way?
Most we've dealt with, yes.
So he'll be back.
Not if we have anything to do with it.
So I shouldn't piss them off before I kill them.
Oh, you can. They just tend to hold grudges.
Great. Okay. Okay. Okay.
In regards to what you all brought, was one of the... Well, I don't know if it could, but... If what you had is truly what we think it is, who knows what we're all in store for?
You speak of the card.
Yes,
So you've heard of that creature before?
the Harlequin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm a little... He's very powerful, and I don't say his name lightly anymore. I've kind of learned a lesson for that one.
Quite fond of teaching lessons, that one. Been some time since I've seen him myself. And he points to the scar over his eye.
Did you beat him?
You could say that. I survived.
You encountered that creature and you survived.
Once, long ago.
Who of your friends did he take?
None.
Was it like a 1v1?
He's a creature. He's a creature of balance, no?
Sure. Though his perspective is a bit warped.
His perspective is...
Yeah,
warped.
this whole
There's-
balance thing it's bullshit, right?
Balance itself isn't. It's not for us to decide. Your
Is it for him
balance
to
might
decide?
not meet the same of people.
So he's actually a god?
He likes to think so.
He's got powers like one, I guess. Templar, sir. Have you ever heard of Denicola?
I have.
Any passing traveling meetings with, I don't know, any information on maybe his whereabouts? If you fought the Harlequin, then I'm not really sure how deep your knowledge goes. I
You
only
still
ask.
serve him.
Yes, and I'm searching.
Keep searching, I suppose. Who knows? You might actually turn something up. But
Would you know where to start?
it's not within my order. I'm not tied to the anvil. Oh, we have a different calling. I serve another.
Thank you. It was really cool, by the way, with the... That was a good one. It was really cool.
Just... Oh, we lost him. There we go.
Nice. Hey, guys.
You can teleport like Calcareous?
Hey.
What the thing?
Just hold fast.
What should we do right now? Just wait?
I cannot tell you what course of actions to take. Between the aid from the mages of Calcareous' order and my Templars, we plan to stabilize the city and put an end to that storm completely. Feel like most of the remnants that still remained on our plane might be why it's holding stability. And, well, this was just one more.
There's more of these?
A few. Many fled when we encountered this keep you all mentioned. Though we have leads, and cult still has some sort of following somehow within the city, though they seem to have gone quiet. With good reason.
Did you find out why they wanted Day at all?
No. But the fact that they want you, well,
We
we'll have
should
to
work
make sure that
together.
doesn't happen.
Right. It's what you said,
Just
but also what I said.
yes, just be cautious, and if you see anything or hear anything, especially pertaining to this cult, be sure to let us know.
We will. Do you have any of those leads? Would you care to share with us? If it's within our power?
There's one. We've heard a rumor of people leaving the city quite quickly and suspiciously. We feel they may be potential members of this cult seeking to flee before they are apprehended. We can always try and stop that for us.
Hey, do you know anything about a white-haired elven woman?
With the red cloak? Is that who you're talking
Have to
about?
be
Seven?
more specific.
Can I use... I know this is kind of my go-to move, this thing. Can I use Minor Illusion to do like a rudimentary...
Of Lysandra?
Of Lysandra form?
You can. You do like a mini face of her.
Day. Yeah,
Have
Day,
you seen
if
this
wanna
person?
Yeah.
help me help boost my
She
Minor
called
Illusion with
herself...
yours.
She called herself Lysandra.
Not familiar to me. Should it be? Is she possibly one of these cultists?
She killed them, a good number of them.
Actually, that's a good point. We were underneath the tattoo shop in the lower city, and...
Is that what that was? It was a tattoo shop
We've-
run by those
Yeah, the
what were
Dwarf
they?
brothers.
Gnomes? Dwarf
Yeah.
brothers.
We found an underground passage there. If you pull on the fourth keg, it led to an actual cultist thing. What's the thing? They have the table and you put the sacrifice thing. Yeah, there was literally one underneath the city, and she was there. She seemed to have killed cultists. I have no idea.
You know where this location is?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll send some of my men with you. Perhaps we can retrieve some more information. Did you find anyone else, anything else of significance there?
Outside of dead cultists and traps, because they didn't want us to find it. I don't think so.
Part of the old city. We'll send some men with you.
It didn't look quite like the old city. It was almost a one-off, unless you guys find something we can't. It didn't necessarily look connected.
We have ways of finding the truth.
You busy right now? I'll show you right now.
That's why I'm sending men with you.
Did you with the other demon that you had dealings with? He mentioned Haroon. Have you learned more of that name?
Calcareous and his members of the archives are doing research for us. We know of the name. We're trying to gain some knowledge, some advantage over our foe. We have at least limited it to the true fiend that these, whatever they are, all serve.
True fiend.
Last thing, or maybe second last thing. Any idea how I might be able to get rid of one of these? This is a long shot. I turn around. I show him the mark behind my ear.
He'll kind of put his hand up, like behind your neck, and you can see his hands glow for a moment. You can feel a bit of warmth, and he pulls his hand away, and the mark is still there. Not quite sure what this could be. Where did you obtain it?
Members of the deck marked me for death. I believe that's also why the Harlequin attacked us.
Possible. Heard similar stories before, but not necessarily tied to the Harlequin.
I don't know how they're all tied up together. The cults, the deck, we've seen evidence that they are working together in some
least
form.
Maybe for sacrifices or something. They're delivering children to them.
Yeah.
For now, it's best if you go and show my men this place you found underground. Perhaps we can exact some more answers and have some leads. At the very least, we'll have you check in on these fleeing individuals.
If
got
that's
word of
the
some
best way we can help,
possible,
absolutely.
Some possible vessels leaving as early as tomorrow. Go and find out what you can.
I have one question for you.
Yes.
Are you familiar with this place? I show him the book.
I've seen the night sky, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, thank you.
I put a hand on his shoulder. I look him in the eyes. I know you. Does it ring any bells?
I just introduced myself to you not 10 minutes ago.
It's a God thing. I never mind.
Right. Just do be careful. And you see him kind of make this arcane gesture over all three of you. There's this faint white light that you feel kind of like wash over you, emanating from his hand for a moment.
Oh.
And he just kind of nods, and you see him pick up his helmet and put his helm on, and he leaves the room.
What did he do?
Cast something at you guys.
Great.
Uh-oh.
Well, I start
Ask
pointing
her if
at
you-
other Templars. Who's coming?
He will go over and grab a few people, and he directs them to come with you. There's a pair of these Templars that come with you. Just go with them, find out all you can, and return here immediately.
The big, like,
They
Dark
just kind of
Souls looking
nod.
guys, like with the.
Pretty much. Yeah. They both have these, like, heater shields and these big long swords.
Sick. Names.
Remington, if you must know.
Is the other guy's name Winchester?
No. It can be if you want it to be. No. It's Remington, Sir Remington, and Sir Lancaster.
Sir Remington. Sir Remington, Sir You guys call each other sirs? You're like actual knights, huh?
Once you actually obtain the rank, it is of import, yes.
Well, this is Master Day. This is Seven the Obtuse, and I am Emmett the Dumb. It's nice to meet you, Sir Remington, Sir Lancaster. We will show you this cult place accordingly.
Fitting titles.
We don't choose who we are.
Lead the way.
The names choose us.
Unless anyone else would like to lead the way, I suppose we all follow the dumb.
Seven, this is what happens when you don't make jokes. I'm just going to throw that out there. I know you're going through some stuff, but like when you don't make jokes, I have to fill the void. And in our little dynamic of parties, I mean, I don't know. Remington, Lancaster, you guys funny? You guys have funny, you say jokes? to Templar's joke.
See,
You're funny.
Lancaster looks towards Remington, looks back to you guys. We're hilarious.
That was actually pretty funny. That was
I like them already.
that was actually pretty funny. I'll lead the way. I start I start my way to the tattoo shop.
Okay. You guys head back through the upper city, down into the lower city.
Oh! Wait. Stopping at Tildy's real quick. I just want to give 1 second, guys. I'm gonna just run in.
Okay.
Is she there?
She is. She is currently eating with Sylvester at the table. Sees you kind of run in.
I'll just take it out. You're amazing, strong, all that. Just thought you should know. This is just yours, and I put it on the counter, and thumbs up, and I walk out.
As you're leaving, you just hear a ooh, and you just go.
Phase area grandma.
You come back out, and then the two knights are basically with Day, you, and Seven outside, and Emmett comes back out. Is this the place?
No. I just
No, he's
something
running
else.
an errand.
Yeah,
an
just
errand.
an errand.
Oh, some errands.
after me.
Might as well. Yeah, we'll pick up the laundry and the groceries on the way from stopping the
Well,
demon cult. It's a great idea.
Remington or Lancaster. Honestly, I can't tell with the hood thing, but you guys are funny. Follow me.
Told you he was hilarious. They continue to follow you.
Full circus music. I would
Pretty much.
I would like.
You eventually lead them back to Artisan Artworks, the tattoo shop. As you enter, you can see two of the Dwarven brothers, one being the one that you recognize very easily, Grom,
yeah.
is there, and he is sitting and he's tattooing a patron. At the time being, there's this guy with like this big gut, and he's got like a big bucket hat on. He's just sitting there. He's got his sleeve pulled up, and he's getting this big anchor done on his arm. He's covered in a bunch of other tattoos, and he's just getting some work done. They're sitting there, and you enter, and you see Grum kind of look over his shoulder and sees the two knights with you, and he just stops for a minute, like puts his tools down and just stands up, kind of walks over.
Grum, we've returned like we promised.
We don't want any trouble, right?
No trouble.
I don't know what you've got these 2 tin cans with you for, but
That's not very
permits
nice.
are fine. We haven't done anything wrong.
You've done nothing.
Came in and
It's not about
busted up
you.
our shop.
Yeah, it's not about you. We're just inspecting the lower levels again. It's for the Templars.
Have you guys been down there yet? Do you remember what we told you?
Yeah, we heard what you said. We had some guards come check it out, and they're looking at sealing up the entrance, but
It's not sealed
they're
yet,
taking
though.
their sweet time.
Alright.
Not yet.
It's actually for the better. This will make sure that you're cleared in all of this.
Oh yeah, sure. I want more people coming in and going underneath my shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this comes
Well-
directly from the Templars, so
Yeah. To be fair,
Okay.
you newly know, like, you new owner of the shop. I'm sure you knew none of this in the first place. I look at Remington and Lancaster. Right, you just bought it within the last months. This has been here for a long time, so I'm sure nothing will befall the brothers themselves.
Look, we've already been cooperating with the guard. If you need to look, go on, look. Just don't bring anything back with you. Okay?
Of course.
we don't intend to.
What if we find gold?
I don't care.
Dibs. And I walk down to the cellar.
Okay.
It's like a cellar
Sure.
with the ale cellar.
Yeah.
I walk up to the fourth one, count 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, and pull.
We head back.
Here
Similar
we
little
go.
elevator shaft happens.
It's down there.
It's starting to go. You're just pulling it and letting
Yep.
it go with no one on it.
Like I'm jumping down. It's here.
Oh, sure.
I jump.
So you three all squeeze in, and then peering over the hole is Sir Remington and Sir Lancaster. As like,
We'll send it back up.
Suppose we'll catch the next one.
Yeah, we'll send it back up. I didn't think this through. When I get the
Eventually
bottom,
you
I'll
guys
pull
get
the
to
lever.
bottom. yeah. Slowly they come down. You see them just kind of standing there with arms crossed.
Remington, Lanny, this way.
Remington.
I would pull open the door, I guess, and is that
Never
As
mind,
you
never mind.
you open the door. There is you can see several panels in different places that are all now depressed and like pushed into the ground and have these big red X's painted onto them. It seems like this room has been gone through. You can still see all the holes and stuff, but everything is marked and labeled and triggered, and it looks like somebody else has been here for sure. The door at the far side is swung open.
We just avoid the X's.
Do you guys think there's still traps?
I think we're safe.
I think we're safe if we avoid the X's.
Yeah.
And I just walk through avoiding the X's.
Sure, you guys get through no problem.
Yeah.
Next room.
Excuse me. You get to the other room. Mm-hmm. Inside, you can see it's pretty much as you left it, though there are no bodies here.
Right.
And the room upstairs, the doors are open as well, but you'd have to go up there and check them out. You can see the two knights with you begin to kind of like look around.
Yeah, can you see any changes?
When we
It doesn't look any different other than there's no
All right.
there's no bodies right now, and you'd have to check out the room where the altar and all that stuff was.
Right. Yeah. Let's go to there.
when we first found this room, there were cultist bodies littering it. Or at least bodies in green cloaks. I'm still not exactly sure, but...
You didn't check them.
I did check them, but I don't... How do you tell a dead cultist?
Well, you said that they were cultists or people in just robes, which was
Well,
it?
there's a very specific
wearing the-
cloak that cultists wear, but we found...
Yes,
Basically, we found someone here, and I can't tell if she was with or not with them, but it seems to me that she killed them, but I don't know if these people were cultists or she literally dressed them up like that. I'm still honestly a little... It's hard for me not to
She dressed
question.
them up and then killed them.
Or vice
Or
versa.
perhaps killed them because they were dressed up.
Could be.
I'm just
We
telling
really don't
you...
know.
I'm telling you I don't know, and I don't trust
We
them.
don't know.
Well, that's fair. We'll see what we can find out, and honestly, it would have helped to have a body. We could have at least spoken with someone. Anything else you encountered? And you can just see them kind of walking about the room.
We
I
fought...
cast
fought a-
detect magic.
Okay. You're getting a little bit of magic coming off of the two of them. They have some magic stuff.
Okay.
Mhm.
But that's the only magic you pick up in the room.
Upstairs included?
Correct.
I cast... locate object, and I'm trying to locate my the key holder as I'm standing there.
Okay. You do so, and the spell fails. The spell fails because
It's not in 1,000
and
feet.
You know, correct. So it's probably outside of your range. So it's not within 1,000 feet of you. So not here, not nearby.
Worth a shot.
Sure.
Follow me. I would like take him up to the...
Okay. You get upstairs, and it is an empty room.
There's nothing in there.
There's nothing in there. You can kind of see a mark on the floor, like outline of where this altar was placed, where it's like scratched up on the floor, but there's nothing in this room. It is empty.
This is not how this was. There was an altar here, and it looked like the cultists' altar that I'm sure you guys have seen from the tower itself, if you guys went down to the swamp. There were giant tubes of some sort of liquid here. It's changed. I don't know what happened.
You didn't retrieve any of this or notify anyone?
Well, the guards came down. That's about all we have to notify.
We notified the guards. And we told Calcareous of it, did we not?
There's a
We
chance
must have.
they may have recovered something, especially if the god is involved. We'll have to speak with them.
Yeah, wasn't a green? Was it green?
Yeah.
A green viscous.
Lots of green liquid.
And an altar. We did encounter one at the keep.
Definitely an altar here.
Well, shame we can't really go off of much else without having someone or something to track off of, but nevertheless, I suppose we'll keep an eye out. Places like this is strange. You were right, it's a bit of the old city, but it's Seems like it's still in use.
What does the room downstairs look like to you? Is it like a pub? I don't understand.
Seems like a safe house or something along those lines, sure.
Do you think
Imagine
they're...
somebody could have been using this as a hideout, could have just been regular bandits or
I don't
urchins.
know. We fought a
cube, like a gelatinous cube
cube.
in the hallway before this room. They were definitely trying to hide it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, someone
There was
had
also-
plenty of reason to not have unwelcome visitors.
Booby traps everywhere. It seems like a much greater an effort than would be something expected of the regular bandit.
Well, staying hidden in traps and secret meeting locations isn't exactly the forte of a cult. That's more in line with thieves.
Well, we know that the thieves are working with the cults at some point. There's a specific group of thieves themed after cards.
The deck.
Yes, them. You said it. He said it. I didn't say that. The deck. They. Okay. Well. Anyway. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, that was the whole. We found evidence that they've been working together somehow.
And what evidence is that?
Well, we know that at the docks they're basically smuggling children to the cultists.
Yeah. We once stopped a small caravan of cultists.
Seems like the High Templar was right then. He encountered some information about these who were laying low within the city. It seems they're trying to leave, and, well, that lead that he asked you all to look into was that of an orphanage suddenly leaving the city in the morning.
An entire orphanage.
Those who run it and those who live in it, yes.
Well, if there's nothing you can do to possibly check out, I don't know if there's a hidden trail magic of some sort in this room, some sort of spell you can cast. Would you mind taking us to that orphanage?
We've been searching. The best bet you can do is check into the docks, see if you can buy up the ship, stop anything from them leaving the city. It's best not to just openly act against, well, orphans. Quite a good cover, for being honest, and that's why it's a delicate matter.
You want us to buy the ship the orphans are on?
We want to make sure they don't leave the city in the morning. Not before we can find out who is running things anyways.
Can you guys
Could
not be
just be
seen
a
there?
cover-up, or it could be, well, we can, but it's not wise to go and exhort muscle on a bunch of orphan children, is it?
Do you have any gold that may help us out with this endeavor? From the Templar to saving orphans, of course.
We'll see what we can do. We'll head back and tell Sir Ed what we found and see if we can help you. At the very least, he might send us back, and who knows, we might meet you at the docks.
We will be at our Free League waiting for your word. It's in the lower city. It's Free League of Garrus. I don't know if you know who he is.
We know of him. He's well trusted.
Agreed. We'll be there. Let us know as probably sooner rather than later if we're to stop this ship.
As soon as we know, we'll come and find you.
The gold part is integral. Just not for me. It's for the
It's
orphans.
just a suggestion. You don't have to literally buy a ship. Maybe just stop it from leaving. That's all we need.
Yes. Is there a name of the orphanage?
Not that we know of. We'll try and get the name for you. We'll speak with the High Templar, and we'll probably plan to come and meet you tonight. I imagine he'll want us with you. At the very least, to make sure you don't mess anything up.
It's fair at this point.
You see Sir Lancaster look over to him and says, "Hilarious."
Funny. You've got jokes.
We'll
Comedians.
catch up with you all this evening. And they will leave.
Well, I guess we'll follow them and do an awkward... When they try to get on the platform, I want to get on the platform with them.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right up with them. Eventually, you all come back up. You emerge again. You can see Grom still finishing the tattoo, and he just kind of like leans over from the side behind this large gentleman. Find what you needed.
No.
No.
Did
However,
the guards take all of the stuff from down there?
We had all kinds of guards in and out of this shop, and they've cleaned out all sorts of things. Who knows?
Did you see any canisters?
Didn't see much of anything. They had us leave the shop for an entire day while they did whatever they were doing.
Do you know
Which guards?
Yeah, that.
Just city guard. Archon was here.
Archon was here.
Archon.
He put us up in a nice inn. He took care of us, but closed shop for a whole day, and we weren't really compensated for the wages. But it is what it is.
That's helpful. Thank you, Grom.
Oh, hopefully you don't come back unless it's to do business. Hey.
Yeah.
No promises.
I'm going to.
I walk
who's that,
outside.
Crom? I'm going to say, hey, Crom, for your troubles, our apologies. I hand him a gold piece.
He'll kind of give a bit of a grin. He takes it and pockets it and is like, just, look,
I know.
sort it out, come
Stay
back.
away.
And, well, I'm not saying stay away. I'm just saying.
I owe you guys drinks, if I remember correctly, too.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll take the drinks. If you really want to pay a bit of patronage, come and let us do some work sometime.
Yeah.
Paying, of course, but
Of course.
we'll see. If nothing else, that discount. I can't say, well, word of mouth is the lifeblood of our business, and even if it's, terrible undead or underneath my shop and I'm a terrible wizard, still getting people coming around asking questions. So
Do I believe
suppose
him?
I should be thanking you.
Is he a terrible wizard with terrible undead underneath his shop?
You can insight. That's when you ask for an insight check. Go.
Yeah.
Ha, lols.
Seems like he's alluding to rumors.
7.
It's any
That's me.
publicity isn't bad publicity at this point. Hard to read. He's not he's alluding to a rumor, and
Right.
he's catching on that, like, well, even though with all the crazy stuff you guys have been doing and tied to his shop, it's getting people to come and ask questions and talk about it and come check it out. So for that bit, at least he's begrudgingly thankful.
Thank you for your time, Grom. I'll walk outside.
Turning outward. Yeah, turning outward as well. I mentioned to the guys, hey, if Archon was here, I mean, when was the last time we actually spoke to Archon?
A long time ago. You want to hit him up?
Yeah.
Feels
I
like
would
a long
love
time
to
ago at
speak
this
with
point.
Archon.
Yeah, we haven't spoken to Archon in quite some time.
Let's do it.
It's a lot has happened since then, at any rate.
All right, so maybe we'll go Archon, meet you guys back here at the docks this evening, gentlemen.
We'll spend the rest of the afternoon finding out all we can. We'll look into this orphanage and get more information for you, and we'll, I suppose, have our stakeout tonight. If you'd rather get rest, we can do that as well. We'll come look for you at your hall. Give
Sounds-
us a few hours.
Sounds good.
You both kind of nod, walk off, and you three are heading to find Archon.
Let's find Archon.
Okay, so you're going to head back towards the prison, essentially, because that's the main place you know. You'll look for him as you're traveling. You never see him. Eventually come to the prison. There are a few guards, but they kind of wave you on. Ask why you're here. You'll mention to see Archon. They'll tell you he's inside. You'll be led to his office, and you see Archon.
Big Daddy.
He's got it. Yeah, he's just writing over some stuff in his office within the prison. Well, gentlemen, it's been some time. I trust you're well.
Hello, Archon.
Archon.
Well, we've been better.
We have definitely
bit.
been better.
We're still here. Did you guys...
Sometimes that's the best of it. What do I owe?
Still-
The pleasure.
Honestly,
Well-
we come for news more than anything, right, Day?
Yeah, we know that you had inspected this tattoo shop with soldiers. And
Yes, we had gotten a report of, well,
we know
several
we were
reports.
we were there. What did you find?
Should have known. we recovered some bodies, some strange things. Give me a moment, and you can see him get up and walk across the room, and he goes into this like cabinet, and he's sorting through these like packets of paper, and pulls this one out, opens it up, shifting through some papers. We recovered, seems 6 bodies, as well as some strange, I don't know, barrels or something made of glass.
Strange question. Do you still have the bodies?
No. What would I do with dead bodies?
The Templar is interested.
He said that Templars said that they may be able to find something out with if there were still a body there, and I'm just curious as to what they would do.
Maybe perhaps there were any evidence left?
Not necessarily evidence. I mean, it seems that they were just, well, killed. They had multiple stab wounds. Though they were, I'm not sure exactly what caused it. We didn't find anything other than just the bodies themselves. There were a few barrels with various silver weapons, which have been confiscated, these weird canisters, and that's all of our findings. The bodies have been since buried.
Anything particularly unusual about the bodies?
Beyond the stab wounds, no. Not really picking up much identification on anyone of note. No noble name, no known merchant, or anyone of any severe importance. He's sifting through a few more papers. Seems they were all similarly dressed in these green robes over these black clothes, whatever that means.
That's the garb of the cult, specifically.
Yeah. I remember you all mentioned that, though.
Right.
Most of the cultists we've ever dealt with, or bodies we've encountered, namely those we've also been working with, the Templars, have been wearing these robes, yes, but they are typically covered in all sorts of weird scars and runes, and tend to wear nothing but these robes. Difference here is these are somewhat uniformed.
We noticed that. It always felt strange.
Did you find what was in the canisters?
Those were, in fact, turned over to the Praetorian Guard by word of the Duke.
The Duke.
No.
Who's the head of the Praetorian Guard?
Well, I am not at leisure to know that information, so I cannot give you an answer, I'm afraid.
The Praetorian Guard, they guard specifically the Duke?
They are the ones who reside in the White Palace, yes.
Why would the Duke want that?
Well, it seems in his decree in the dealing with this cult activity, anything of high importance that goes through the Templars themselves would also eventually make its way to Duke.
I'd like to close the door towards just us in his room. Archon, does that seem off to you?
No, it seems protocol to me.
The way the Duke's been acting, reinstating the games, wanting to abolish the free leagues, none of this seems off to you.
Out of place, sure, but not off. What are you implying?
That's kind of actually what I'm saying. I mean, if anything currently with the storm overhead and us down here, anything out of place, it's hard for me not to question it. There's so much going on. There's so many moving parts.
Agreed, but namely, I encountered you three due to a bit of foul play, sent you to take care of a task, and that storm was a result. So you tell me if something seems off, Emmett.
That storm is not a result of us. That storm was going to happen. We were just lucky enough to be there. The cult...
You were lucky enough to stop it.
Also true. The cult, in its form, they were always moving. They have the ability and the want to take over this entire plane of existence, from what we've gathered.
Well, maybe you've just been caught up in all of it, but running a city is no small task. I can't claim to know what the Duke has to do with, but I do not believe he is inherently evil or up to something
I don't-
strange.
I don't know if I believe in inherently evil anymore. Not in the way I used to. But things
might be
that are
dealing with
strange and off, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Just because it's off, I don't know, it may not be what's best. And I'm just curious, you know way more. I've been gone from the city for such a long time. Doesn't this seem out of nowhere?
It seems to be a lot at once. I can agree with you on that. But
He might be dealing with the deck.
who knows what he's dealing with, and perhaps it's best if we don't make that common knowledge, otherwise we would have a city in chaos.
That's
And that's
why
not something any of us can handle.
that's why I closed the door.
We know.
Because I know I've been brash before, but you seem
That
trustworthy.
seems to be your method, but that's not at all a bad thing, Emmett. Just turn your brashness into some boldness. Think a bit before you act. At the very least, you can turn it into a moment of courage.
It's like the only thing that I do. It feels like that doesn't seem like a good idea anymore.
Well, maybe you don't need to change what you do, just how you do it.
Okay. Is the deck... I know I've just talked about evil, but I mean, that brings up a good question. You don't seem that concerned.
Emmett, I've been dealing with these concerns for the last 11 years of my life in the city.
Why
Remember,
was-
the deck needs the city to be functioning for the deck to function.
True. Why 11? It's a very specific number.
Well, I've been within the city for much longer, and I've served as a guard for some time, but I've been captain for the last 11.
You've heard... Archon, do you know who I am?
Should I?
My name is Emmett Wayland. I'm a part of the aspect of the anvil. Discipline. I came back because I heard my mother died.
Your grandmother.
No, I heard my mother died. But my grandmother's the one who apparently died.
Yes, I'm truly sorry. He was quite a figure.
Something else that's fishy. That woman... I didn't think she would ever die.
Are you all right, Emmett?
No. But I'll deal with it. I just don't... there's so many things I don't understand.
Welcome to my world. Somehow you have to remain on course, stay steadfast, and figure out what you can day by day.
Have you heard of
Certainly
anything...
I've made it through my 11 years.
Have you heard about anything going... In your 11 years, anything fishy with the aspects?
The aspects tend to keep to themselves. They've persisted as such. They're very deliberate in their actions, but nothing fishy, as you put it. Actually, pillars of the community, if you would, contribute a lot to society and the economy.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, Archon,
Yes,
can you do me a favor?
depends.
I'm looking to...
7.
No, seriously. No, I'm looking to apply to get into one of the school. I'm trying to look study the archive. I know they said I need a letter from an arcanist, a letter of recommendation. I was wondering if I get a letter of recommendation from you. Maybe if I could get a few different letters of recommendations from people who have good reputations, who can vow for some of the good I've done for the city that might help boost my odds.
Noble cause. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
Ooh. I slap him on the back with some guidance.
That's a 12, but I'm going to use my luck.
Okay.
That's
You
an
can also-
18.
You can also add a D4.
That's a 20, and then persuasion is I believe 3 now for me.
Okay.
No, persuasion is a 5 for me now. Holy shit.
25.
25.
Jesus.
Hello, level 5.
See him kind of think for
Bruh.
a moment, and he just says, "If you really wish to advance your learning, that's something I can get behind. And at the very least, it's something I suppose I owe to you. I'd be happy to write that letter."
Thank you, Archon. I am in your debt.
We'll just call this even,
Fair enough.
Gentlemen, I think it's time that we head back.
Seems fair. Where? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Archon.
Thank you, Archon.
Happy to help, as always. Do stay out of trouble.
I open the door, motioning for Emmett and Seven to leave
Yeah,
first.
I just leave.
We will.
Yeah, Archon,
didn't
I
say
wish
that.
I wish I could give you I wish I could give you if I could my utmost certainty that we would stay out of trouble.
We're not gonna stay out of trouble. I can tell you that.
I-
But
lately
We'll
as you
probably-
know,
I'll-
Archon, it's been,
we'll try to stay
it's been
safe either
nipping
way.
at our heels.
I
But-
know you three better than that. I just said I hope you stay out of trouble.
As these two leave the door, I go, "Gentlemen, give me one moment, please." I close the door, I lock it, I cast minor illusion sound to create like a white noise, kind of like shuffling.
I immediately
kind of-
put my ear to the
Oh.
door.
yeah, you can't.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and make a perception check at disadvantage for me.
Me?
Emmett?
Yes. And what are you saying, Dave?
7 total.
What are you saying, Dave?
Archon.
Emmett, listening from your side of the door, you just hear like white noise and ocean sounds. It's kind of weird.
Oh, it's soothing.
Archon.
Yes.
Who am I?
That's my
Who
trick,
are
you
you?
son of a bitch.
You've introduced yourself to me as Day. That's how I know you.
You know me before I was Day, right?
Am I supposed to have my headphones off for this?
Oh, you're fine. I mean, you can't hear this, but believe I know your family, yes, but you've always been Day.
Who is my family?
I'm confused.
What is my name, Archon? What is my last name? What is my family name?
You see him kind of pause and think for a minute, and he's
I want you to take your headphones off. That's fine.
well, I can't remember.
You can't remember.
No, it must have been some time. I've spent much of my life here within the lower city, and could have sworn they were noble to some degree, which would have put you in the upper city. That's where I remember seeing you when you were younger. Always wandering about, lost in your thoughts, I suppose. But nothing to warrant any interest, other than the curiosity of a child, I suppose. I never thought much of it.
Okay. Goodbye, Archon. I turn off the minor illusion, unlock the door, one last look at him, close the door.
Okay.
What'd you say? What was going on? What'd you do? What's happening?
I thought he knew my name.
What Day?
I made that up.
What?
In my time, when I first met the cultists, they decided to sacrifice me. When Casmine saved me, parts of my memory slipped away. And I know who I am. I know who I am more than ever. I know who I am.
Yeah.
But my name? Nothing.
You lost it?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm sorry.
I guess it matters not. It's nonsense. It's but a name.
Does it eat at you that you know you don't know?
I know that I might be one of the few who does know who I am. Whether you call a rose or a desk, is it still a beautiful flower? Yes. To identify it too strongly with a name could possibly be another one of Casmine's lessons for myself, and I understand that.
And you hear in your mind as you say this, you hear a familiar, soft chuckle. And you just, It's all right, Day. I know you.
And I am known.
7, you catch any of that?
What?
Well, Day, I'm gonna keep calling you Day. If you figure it out, I guess let me know.
Day is good.
7, I want you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
That's a 9, but I'm going to use luck again. Last luck of the day.
Go for it.
I'm burning through my luck. That's a 19.
Much better.
He said yes. So wisdom, nothing added. So it's just 19.
Just a flat 19?
Flat 19.
Okay. So you're kind of lost in thought as he's saying all this, and you hear Emmett turn to you when Emmett says, 7, you getting any of this? And you feel this, like, the back of your neck gets hot, and you're then kind of flushed cold for a moment, and you hear in your mind a familiar voice as well. I know you. And that's where we're going to end this.
Okay.
Oof.
Oh. Nice. That didn't sound like a good voice, bro.
Come on!